Why did I think then you singing? Why did I think then you swinging? That funny old tune will drive me to ruin. You came along and made me a slave. Now I'm craving things that I should crave. You came along and made me a slave. Now I'm craving things that I should crave.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Tinfoil Tuesday. I hope you're all doing well. I know the bot's still broken. I gotta figure out what's wrong with it. I'm sorry. Blackwing Hecate with, oh god. Blackwing Hecate with 200 bits says, I gave bits to another street, so have 2 Bezos bucks. I assume you meant stream. Thank you, though. Alice for Rose, glad you could make it. KR Goss, thanks for 17 months, says 17 months and a third of the way to Dancy. At this rate, it'll only be a couple more years. Blackwing Hecate says, Hannah, join the bottom cat girl collar club. You'd have to bring that up with Baja. She would have to purchase the collar. Rachology says, I'm at Partners, well, her housemate is away, which means I have to go out in the dark and cold and mud to put away said housemate's chickens into their runs from the night. Eggs ain't worth this shit. MW1642, thanks for 21 months. GimpVet, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. Tucker White says, C's title, oh Christ, I'm too sober for this. Give me a moment.
Burns!
And that catches us up. Level 1 of the hype train complete. Remember, level 5 of the hype train will get us tinfoil outfit and everything. Make sure your bingo cards, if you don't already, I'm going to have to give them to you because the bot's broken, so here's a link in chat. If you're planning on donating bits today, feel free to use the PayPal link that's below the stream, because my bank account is $11 in the negative, and I can only get it immediately through PayPal. So you can do that. You don't have to. I'll deal with it tomorrow if I have to, but it would be convenient. Poetic Fox says, hey Hannah, for once I can listen to you live. I'm officially dad at 30 and I fucking hate it already. Oh, God. I'm sorry. Princess Amelia, thanks for 14 months. Stone Corbell says, your tinfoil finery awaits. Honest Noir says, one of your neighbor's chickens decided to start, or one of my neighbor's chickens, rather, decided to start laying eggs on our porch one day in the shelter we'd been using for the feral kittens. This went on for about a month, and they were the freshest, most delicious eggs I've ever eaten. Neem Sor Kolboth, thank you for gifting a sub. We're at 73% to level 3. Dad age. I kind of thought that something else was happening there, but I wasn't sure. Read your stuff before you hit send, people. It's imperative, because otherwise I'm just going to read it. I'm not going to know what you mean. It's Ceci. Thanks for 13 months. Thank you. It says Hype Train. What's my PayPal? It's below the stream. I don't want to say it, but there's a link to it to donate below the stream. Nick with 45-bit says, just woke up from a nap in time for a Hannah stream. Yay. Would I eat this even if I go to hell? What is it? The world's cheesiest nativity. I mean, I'm going to hell anyway, because trans, so it's whatever. GimpVet with 100 bits says, my computer froze when I sent those 5 subs. Did they make it? They did. Can you get a bingo? Here you go. Oops, I posted it twice, but it should work. Poetic Fox says, have the last 100 bits in exchange for my terrible typo. Thank you. Did you miss any bingo spaces? No, we haven't watched anything yet. Hydrate. Pardon the confetti, thanks for 100 bits, says, yay, hell. 12% to level 4. Hold on. Someone asked for the PayPal thing. I'll post a link. AWOL Doggo 34, thanks for subscribing for 6 months, says, love this community. I do too. First time buying bits ever, try typing Nightbot, join, it might work. Let's give it a shot. It didn't do anything. It's the tip button. This is the link to the PayPal. Again, you can do bits. I'm just saying, you know, if you don't already have bits and you're considering buying them, you could just do the tip thing. There are people who believe trees aren't real. Guess my state and most of Canada must not exist. Oh no! They believe that the things that you think are trees are real. You've just been deceived, and they are in fact not trees. How many chuggas before Chew? Chew, we're 39% to level 4. Oh, holy fucking shit. Procagom. Oh my god, okay. Jesus Christ. Stone Corbell, thanks for $10, says, get your bank account positive, thank you. And Pardon the Confetti with 100 bits. Procagom donates $50, says, from your friendly neighborhood Procagom. I really appreciate that, thank you. Oh, you guys are so generous. So my bank account is no longer in the negative. So thank you everyone for that, I appreciate it very much. I don't get paid until the 14th, unfortunately. Hold on, I'm going to transfer that now so I don't forget, so I don't get a late fee or a overdraft fee, whatever it's called. And now I have your real name. Just kidding. Excited for the forest conspiracy? It's pretty out there. It's an hour long, though. Here's the bingo card. Oh shit, did someone else donate? Oh boy, Miss K's with $5. I fight for them with 30, says helping your bank account back in the black. And Lily Love Stuff with 15 says get out of the negative. D-Zug with 25 says keep fighting the good fight, you're valid. Holy shit. Guys, it's not in the negative anymore. You don't have to keep giving me money. I appreciate it, but all I needed was $11. I appreciate it very much though. Tucker White says, I agree, Hannah. Like, it's so annoying when people can't be fucked to proofread their writing. See, I could get that one. Princess Amelia, thanks for gifting a tier 1 sub. Procagom with 100 bits says, yeah, but now it's extra positive. That's true. 71% to level 4 on the hype train. Blackwing Hecate with 45 bits says, what's this about you not knowing about horsecock and the furry fandom? It's a tweet thing. Don't worry about it. Sidchet, oh god. Cy Chidelic. Cy Chidelic! Thanks for gifting 2 tier 1 subs. That took me a sec. Monster Jr., thanks for gifting 10 tier 1 subs, and Clockwork Van, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. It's a goddamn subapalooza in here. Sarah Celia, thanks for 18 months, says, 18 months, woot. Also, I never got to get a sub baby named. Could you name one for me? Sure, this sub baby's name is Aldous. Aldous McFeely. Aldous McFeely. Evil Dead Guy says, us at this moment. Shut up and take my money. Gimpvet, he says, here's a few bits for the... Oh, wait, did I give you guys a link that was to the specific bingo card? Hold on, I might have given it to some people. If your stuff is getting marked off right now as I do this, you need a new bingo card, because I accidentally gave you a link to this specific one instead of a link to a new one. So here's the new one. Gimfet says, here's a few bits for the bank. I'll make it rain when I come visit you in Baja as you did in Well, I almost had you on that one. Love you. Thanks. Blackwing Haggerty says, I'm a furry. I can't not worry about it. Sarah posted a thing that had a horse cock, and I was like, is that a horse cock? Navigator 4, thanks for 9 months. That's a stream baby. This stream baby's name is, Vanderbilt Monsanto. Vanderbilt Monsanto. Baja says they need 2 sub-baby names since it was 18 months. I already gave you sub-baby names, okay? They're Oliver and Cassia. Psychedelic with 300 bits says, choo choo. Procagom gives 5 tier 1 subs. Holy shit, what a crazy fucking hype train. We're at 300 something percent. 394%. Did I miss anything else? I just want to make sure. What about Bob? Thanks for $5. I think that catches us up. Cool. Here's the bingo card link. I know, this is a crazy fucking hype train. Oh, the person that didn't get one? I thought I already gave one. I'll do another one, though. Psychedelic, thanks for gifting another 2 tier 1 subs, bringing us to 428%. Okay, sub baby name. Alexander Dickbutt. Alexander Dickbutt. And in case anyone else missed theirs, here's another one. Sarah Michelle Gellar. No relation. Humiliated Grapes, thanks for gifting a tier 1 sub. And by the way, that's first name Sarah Michelle Gellar, last name no relation. Keep saying horsecock? I'd rather not. Ratiology with 50 bits says, I just got back in from chickens. At least there was no clouds. So I was able to appreciate the majesty that are the hologram normies insist are the stars and moon, losers. Psychedelic with 200 bits says, first time I caught a stream instead of watching on YouTube. Well, you've been very been very generous, and I appreciate that. I hope you enjoy your first live stream. For me, at least. 453%. This hype train's been murdered by all of you. Is it too late to get a bingo card? It's never too late to get a bingo card. Unless the stream is over, then it's too late. Clava Faustna, thanks for 12 months. Happy anniversary. They subbed for 18 months, and they said they never got a sub baby at all, so they needed 2? Okay, so the names I gave are the names of those 2 sub babies. Whatever the first one was. And then Sarah Michelle Gellar, no relation. I think I'm a lot funnier than I am. Let's see. You won't say it, but Hannah... there's a link. What is this?
I've always had a thing for
Psychedelic, thanks for gifting a tier 1 sub.
pushing the extremes. And I just got a thing.
Pretty sure this is copyrighted. It's also age restricted because it's a song called No Cock Like Horse Cock. And I don't need to listen to that. Okay, let's tinfoil. Conspiracy theory. Hannah's purposefully misunderstanding me. Yep. You cracked the code. Let me do this. Your baby name is Karen. I'm sorry. Would you like a new name? We could name the baby Chad. Chad Dude Cock. That's their name. Chad Dude Cock. No longer Karen. Now Chad Dude Cock. Gimp Vet with 100 bits says, earlier I suggested we make a hand coin. However, you buy the coins from us via NFTs, as it will be the first open source blockchain released 100% open and decoded, thus worthless, yet will sell like crazy. That all meant nothing to me. Or at least relatively nothing. Wow, my bangs aren't cooperating today. Let's see if we can fix them or if we need to go flower crown. That's good enough. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Tucker White with 45 bits says, posted the wrong timestamp. Oh, God. Is this the horsecock song again?
Forget it, I quit. I can't do this anymore, man. My head's above.
I don't want to get copyrighted. It is from Tommy Boy. God damn it. Hannah bimbification. I'm already a bimbo, so I don't know what you're talking about. Let me get this shit ready, and then we can get on to the conspiracies. Shut up, music. Thanks, music. Mr. Fred Rogers, thanks for 5 months, says it only took me a year to get to 5 months. Sorry, I'm a bad viewer, Hannah. You're not a bad viewer. Every viewer's a good viewer unless they troll. Then they're not even a viewer. Then they're just someone who's an asshole. You do not have to give me money or subscribe to be a good viewer. Did you miss Call, Peter, or Cece? I don't know if we're covering any of them today. We're definitely not covering Call or Peter. I don't know if we're covering Cece. Ashy Boo says, I have some exciting news. I recently learned that I do not have a little brother, but in fact have a little sister. Oh, sorry. Something popped up. Sarah Celia, I didn't miss yours. I'll get to yours in a second. Sorry, I did miss it, but I just saw it. But in fact, a little sister. I'm so proud of her for finding her gender identity out. And I do partially credit you and Jake for showing her that being trans is even an option. Trans rights. Awesome. Good for her. Sarah Cilia with 1,000 bits says, have you heard this song? It's called The Antifa Hoedown. I don't think it's copyrighted, but even if you can't play it on stream, you might like it. Let's
Why, yes, I'm an evil left-wing sheeple snowflake working for the deep state here to force your wives to get abortions and then leave you for transgender lesbians. Yes, it was us Antifa that stormed the Capitol to make you all look bad so that we can take your guns, spread communism, and blast Cardi B in your churches. And you're never gonna stop us, no, 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 Step one, we're gonna go vaccinate your kids and make them all turn bisexual and wanna go to Vassar. Step two, we're gonna turn the police stations into bookstores or drag queen story hours and brunch. Step three, we're gonna not fucking kill black people since apparently that's so radical idea. Step four, we're gonna send the gays and player to buy yogurt to a soccer party happening on top of 11th Avenue. You're never gonna stop us, no, you're never gonna stop us, Chris McConnell, you're a turtle and you're never gonna stop us. Antifa 21, gonna be real fun and you're never gonna stop us till we're good and done. Step 5, we're gonna topple more Confederate statues and replace them with cafes. That's avocado toast. Step 6, we're gonna steal your guns. Ha ha, just kidding. We've already done that. Go check. Step 7, we're gonna impeach Donald Trump 82 more times just to piss you off. Step 8, we're gonna open your mouths and force feed all of you motherfuckers single-payer healthcare. You're never gonna stop us. No, you're never gonna stop us. Giuliani's head is licking.
Hi, Drake.
You're never gonna stop us. We're here. We're queer. Making MAGA disappear. Antifa's gonna be a good time this year. Step 9, we're gonna hack into Fox News and play music videos by Ariana Grande on loop. Step 10, we're gonna steal email addresses from Parler to spam with petitions for MoveOn.org. Step 11, we're gonna glitter bomb the men at Straight Pride because straight people don't know how to clean out glitter. Step 12, we're gonna force the entire Trump family to learn and perform the final tap before you suck a suit. You're never gonna stop us, no, you're never gonna stop us. Now you're in a race, make pretend you're never gonna stop us. You can cry, make objection, you can try an insurrection, but no matter what, you still lost the election. 13, we're gonna blend a new Starbucks cold brew with cinnamon chai and billionaire blood. 14, we're gonna hold Reddit races to see who can make the most hedge funds declare bankruptcy. 15, we're gonna certify election results in Georgia again just because we're bored. 16, we're gonna make Tucker Carlson compete in the scripted acting challenges on RuPaul's Drag Race. You're never gonna stop us, no, you're never gonna stop us. All the sports are going to TV and you're never gonna stop us. You can cry Fox News, you can blame the gay Jews, but ultimately all you do is lose.
That was cute. That's funny. Let's see. Procagam says, all viewers are good viewers, but some viewers are more good than others. Psychedelic says, good thing I don't troll, I goblin. Gimp Vet with 100 bits.
Because democracy basically means...
I've seen this. It uses the R word. I don't want to play it. I get it, though. This burnt-out house in Sacramento is selling for $125,000. I'm imagining it's more for the land than the house, because you're going to have to tear down that house no matter what. You're basically buying the small plot of property that it's on, whichever house it is. Maybe this one before it burned down. Yeah, that sucks. Why are they taking pictures of the interior? It's a write-off. You have to take it down completely. There's no way this house is still structurally sound. Maybe you could strip it down to the foundation and rebuild, but, like, why do I need pictures of the burnt-out interior? Anyway. Tucker White says you're either a good viewer or your daddy Sume. He hasn't been around in a little bit. I guess I just took days off. Okay, we're all good. None of this is accurate, by the way. They were just clicked. Gimp Vet says, shit, I forgot about that. It does. I'm autistic and a homosexual, so those being my childhood nicknames, I'm numb to those words. Okay, let's watch the thing. Do we want to start with the there are no trees thing, or should we build up to it? Because that's a long-ass video. We should probably do some other stuff first. Let's do some shorter stuff. Let's learn some moose truth.
The moose is loose, and the truth is loose. Erases 251 billion in value, biggest wipeout in history. 251 adds up to 8, which is good, God, goyim, or, and you see it in the news, means bullshit. But what this means is meta is gonna, all the good people, right? The biggest wipeout of good people in history. And the blue in the meta sign, right? The blue in the meta sign, that's 13. That's the blue lodge of the Masons. And
Wait, blue is 13 now? Oh, he's using the gematria bullshit thing.
And the meta sign is actually a broken infinity sign, which is like a broken cross, because infinity sign is 8, which is God. Anyhow, 251 adds up to 8, the biggest wipeout in history.
This is numerology, and spurious symbology is evidence on the bingo card, both of them.
Do you get it? It's advertising for Freemasons telling you they're all the good people, the goyim. Learn, people. It's all in my movies. Learn. It's
anti-Semitism. That's just overt anti-Semitism on the bingo card.
so simple. Another one, same day. Amazon Prime raises $139.19. 9/11, 13 is the M, the Freemason N, and Prime adds up to 7, which is the G, the Mason G. This is a war against secret society and non-secret society. Every single day I open the news, they are communicating to each other. The moose is loose. Do you know what else is loose? The truth is loose.
4 bingo spaces at once. Holy shit. Yeah, this guy's out there.
Moose is loose.
The video quiet? I'll turn it up a little. The moose is loose.
And the truth is loose. And the truth is loose.
Whoa.
Whoa. That was awesome. I almost got killed by a moose to bring...
Oh no, that's another one. Hannah gets so exasperated she just stops and put her head in her hands. Fuck. This guy's nuts. This guy broke me in under 2 minutes. That's impressive.
Bring you the truth. Come on, people. What more do you want? That was fucking rad. Oh my God, people.
Like, hypothetically, with a free space, someone could already have bingo. That's all I'm saying.
Don't tell me that wasn't an act of God, right? That the moose charged, that we had the camera rolling, and that I'm still standing here to tell you about it. See,
God did not make that moose not murder you. What the fuck are you doing?
that's how God speaks to me. You gotta learn what I teach people. Learn numbers, learn numbers. God just spoke to you through a fucking moose. Learn numbers. God just spoke to you through a fucking moose.
Yes, dies of laughter on the bingo card, goddammit. Fuck you. Fuck this guy. He's ruining my bingo game. Tucker White with a link.
Stupid! You're
so stupid! Procagum says, wait, so if I learn these numbers, I'll be safe from the moose? What about hippos? You'd have to learn... You need really high numbers. You need to know high numbers to fight the hippos. Princess Amelia says, God just spoke to you through a fucking moose! Blackwing Hecate with a link.
A room
With a moose! I love that show. Nernindia Owl says, ah yes, the moose, the divine messenger. Rachology with a link. Holy shit, lots of links. What the fuck? And then Psychedelic says, I'm an atheist, and even I'm praying for this guy to be satire right now. Dr. Gamble says only the first 9 seconds.
Everybody, I think I've got a plan. If we all move over to the right side of the bus, we just might be able to steer this thing clear of the moose room.
I do like the moose room. And then maps and mimics with a link.
What you
I can't play that whole clip. I've tried that before.
God just spoke to you through a moose. I'll bet you this video gets millions of hits. I almost got killed by a moose.
663 views.
And I live to tell it. I'm telling the truth. Watch my
Hydrate.
Non-secret society. Every single day
I just gotta go back and take that in one more time, because a lot of things happen in the span of 2 minutes.
news. They are communicating to each other. The moose is loose. Do you know what else is loose? The truth is loose. The moose is loose, and the truth is loose. And the truth is loose. Whoa. Whoa. That was awesome. I almost got killed by a moose.
That was awesome! I almost got killed by a moose! Billy Love Stuff says, so I watch the stream while I work and scream laughed into the phone. You're welcome.
To bring you the truth. Come on, people. What more do you want? That was fucking rad. Oh my God, people. Don't tell me that wasn't an act of God, right? That the moose charged, that we had the camera rolling, and that I'm still standing here to tell you about it. See, that's how God speaks to me. You gotta learn what I teach people. Learn numbers, learn numbers. God just spoke to you through a fucking moose. God just spoke to you through a moose. I'll bet you this video gets millions of hits. I almost got killed by a moose. And I live to tell it. I'm telling the truth.
Are we in a fucking simulation? I don't do the whole simulation theory thing, but Occam's razor is starting to dictate that it's the most likely option. Nick says, Tim and Eric have really stepped up their production value. I just love the Moose Man. Where's this guy's actual channel? I'll have to find it later. I gotta find this guy's stuff. Okay, let's move on to something else short. This guy seems to think someone is JFK or JFK Jr. Blackwing Hecate says, I mean, I hope not. That'd mean my girlfriend isn't real, and that's not cool. That would mean you're not real, though, too. And 2 negatives make a positive, if you multiply them. And India Owl says, so maybe that was a message from God telling him to cut that shit out.
Laugh now, cry later. So it's in your face. I make this video just to show you that, you know, President Kennedy has returned.
He is not. Also, this is Dead Celebrity Returns to fight the Cabal or whatever on the bingo card.
John F. Kennedy Jr. has returned as vice president. And
that's not how that works.
It's right here in your face. So I just want to show you something real quick. This is our vice president. He has distinct hands. This is him here. And if you notice the hands and then the
Why is
veins in the
JFK
hand.
Jr. taking so long to return? What's the damn holdup? In fairness, he's only had 23 years to get ready, okay? The guy, it takes a while to look that good.
Hands.
Not necessarily QAnon as a source. He didn't say that yet. Wouldn't JFK Sr. be like over 100 years old? He would.
It's another picture. Very distinct hands.
They're hands. They're certainly human hands. Rachology says, I almost got killed by a crocodile. God wasn't telling me shit. It was the crocodile taking advantage of me for being stupid enough to lean over the edge of a bridge in a crocodile pen because I hadn't read the sign saying don't lean over the bridge because crocodiles can jump high out of the water. Narnania Owl says not everyone can afford the VIP treatment like Jesus. True. He paid for the expensive package, only 3 days. JFK Jr., for some reason, he basically had the Titanic steerage class version of Resurrection. Takes a while. Nick says, tempted to smack his hands into his face right now. And Blackwing Hackety says, a vice president, so he's not the vice president of the United States. Ergo, this is bull pocky. That's the issue with this statement, clearly. Not that he's talking about someone who's been dead for a couple decades.
Very distinct hands. And I think that they were meant to help us to identify him in disguise or when he's kind of not revealing himself. Here's another picture.
JFK has more lag than Jesus. Yeah, his ping is shit.
You can't see the veins as well in this picture, but you can see a little bit. And the president posted a picture online with himself and John F. Kennedy Jr. together in one picture. And it's right there on El Donado Trumpo. When you go to El Donado Trumpo, he has this picture pinned up. But this is a picture of President John F. Kennedy in a Trump mask.
Blackwing Hackety says, I was going to say God has fiber, whereas the Project Looking Glass only has DSL. Okay, so in this picture, Donald Trump appears to be signing either an executive order or a bill of some kind. Even if what this guy was saying was true, which it is not. JFK Jr. has been dead, and Donald Trump was not a man in a mask. It was Donald J. Trump. If JFK Jr. were secretly alive, first of all, he can't be the vice president without people knowing. That's not how that works. It's a public office. You have to swear in publicly on the record. But let's even throw that aside. Let's say JFK Jr. was the vice president somehow, and he was wearing a Donald J. Trump mask in this picture while he's signing something. That would be illegal because he would be impersonating the president and forging his signature on an official government document, whether it be an executive order or an executive order or a bill or whatever it is. So there are a myriad of problems with this, but those are just some of them. Procagom says, we all know Biden's just a comedian in a mask. Why can't Trump be the same?
Which is what it looks like. And to his right, because he's his right-hand man, is Junior. And you can tell by the hand.
Wait, I'm sorry. He's saying to his right is Junior. Does he think, I gotta listen to this again, hold on. Does he think JFK Sr. is Trump?
But this is a picture of President John F. Kennedy in a Trump mask.
Okay, he thinks it's JFK Sr. in a Trump mask. JFK born. So JFK was born in 1917. So he would be 105 years old. He would be 105 years old, and he thinks that 105-year-old JFK, who miraculously recovered very well from having his fucking head blown off, like a big portion of the back of it just... After recovering from that and the severe brain trauma, he apparently is doing great. Lived to the ripe old age of 105, and he's spry enough to impersonate the President of the United States in a Mission Impossible-style, lifelike mask. That's impressive. Who says healthcare in America's dog shit? We can have dead presidents living to 105 and impersonating the current president. Nick says, if it were JFK, he'd be ineligible for 2020 because he lasted more than 2 years in office, so his term counts as one term, and in 2016 to 2020 counts as his second term. Oh, I see what you're saying, if it was Trump. Lily Lovestuff says, why do they obsess over JFK Jr.? They already have RFK Jr. I don't know. I really don't. Procagom says, obviously he's put into cryo when he isn't needed. Gosh, don't you know we have med beds now? Found Peter. Blackwing Haggerty says, has anyone tried dumping rice in front of Trump?
Which is what it looks like. And to his right, because he's his right-hand man, is Junior. And you can tell by the hand. And that's right there on El Donado Trumpo. Here's another picture that makes it clear. You can see it if you put it, if you go back and forth. You look at the hand here, the right of President Trump. Right behind this President seal, you see the hand of Vice President Kennedy.
Their hands.
All right, you can see.
That's a hand,
clear.
and that is also a hand.
I'll do it one more time. Bam. That's the hand of the Vice President. There it is. You can see it pretty clear. And the body here doesn't look like Trump.
He's extensively studied the body hair of Donald J. Trump. Let me tell you, if anyone knows every body hair on that man, it's him.
So this is very much most likely a disguise, and this is President Kennedy in a disguise, red tie. Here's a close-up of the hand. It looks identical. The veins in the hand is...
Everyone has veins in their hand. Like, what?
Itself looks like the hand of Junior. This is a picture that they did of...
Vincent Fusca or whatever his name is.
A comparison.
There's this other guy who goes to a lot of Trump rallies that the Q people also think is JFK Jr. His name's Vincent Fusca or something. Narnandia Owl says, would that even be allowed, having a VP that's directly related to the POTUS? Not that it would matter at this point, since everything else would be incredibly illegal. There's no law saying you can't be related, the vice president and the president now.
Comparison between Mr. Kennedy Jr.
Now, is it Q as a source? He didn't specifically name Q. He has to source Q. He has to say, in a Q drop, this thing happened, or this thing was said, or Q said. He's not doing that.
Vice President Kennedy and Vincent Fusca, who's also Kennedy, in disguise. And you see it's the same pose.
No one ever stands like this. This isn't an incredibly common pose, especially for photography. Rachology says, how long until some Republican hints that their JFK Jr. returned in an attempt to boost their election chances? Midterms are coming up, so keep an eye out.
You know, the right hand over the left hand, and that's his pose.
The funny thing is, too, Vincent Fusca goes to Donald Trump rallies, so... sometimes he's playing Donald Trump, but sometimes he's Vincent Fusca at the rallies watching Donald Trump. Psychedelic says, doesn't this guy know people don't have veins at all? No, people don't have veins at all, let alone in their hands? Those blue lines under people's skin is just puppet strings. Tucker White says, wait, so Trump is JFK Jr., or no, sorry. Wait, so Trump is JFK, which means Lee Harvey Oswald, quote, shot, unquote, a body double? Thus, Kennedy actually won a Razzie for his role in Ghosts Can't Do It, was pictured with Jeffrey Epstein and ran for president. Dent. Is this
And you see him here in disguise as Fusca, and then you see him without disguise. Same pose, same hand. Everything's the same. And here is the same pose, except he has right over left in this picture here. That's not a coincidence.
But you see, because the hands are reversed, that means it's actually evil JFK Jr., KFJ Jr. from the Mirror Universe. They only shot him from here down because you can see he has a goatee if the camera pans up, and that's the tell that he's evil.
That's right over left, not left over right. Interesting. So, it's in your face, 165. Welcome back to Vice President Kennedy to President Kennedy, President Trump. It's in your face. It's like right there. Amazing. Amazing that we're living to see it. Well, just thought I'd share that with you just so you know. Tell your friends and your family John F. Kennedy Jr. is back. And they're not hiding it. Okay? It's pretty much in your face.
Pledge my allegiance.
Oh god, it says in God we trust, but the O is replaced with a Q. He referenced Q. I'll give that to the person who wants Q referenced as a source. That's a Q reference.
Pledge my allegiance.
Tea with Goblins with 100 bits says, one thing I don't quite get, JFK was a Democrat and a fairly progressive one for the era, and a Catholic too, if I remember correctly. True. Even if either he or his son were still alive, why on earth do these dimwits think that they'd be super gung-ho for radically right-wing reactionary movements? I've discussed this before on stream, but I'll discuss it again. To them, JFK is not a real person. If you look at the age groups of people who follow Q, it's mostly baby boomers, Gen Xers, and some millennials, but not very many millennials. It gets higher as you go up in age group. I think the biggest group is actually Gen X. So the people who mostly follow Q aren't people who were alive during JFK's candidacy or presidency or anything like that, or at least were people who weren't old enough to be paying attention to it. These are people who grew up in the shadow of the assassination of JFK. These are people who, in pop culture and in culture at large in America, saw JFK not just as a man, not just as a president, but the idea of an American president, a presidential president, you know? Dignified, handsome, all that sort of shit. Cared about the people, stuff like that. They don't know his specific policy positions. If you went and asked someone who believes this conspiracy, hey, what policy positions did JFK run on? They wouldn't know. It's not about him being a Democrat or progressive. It's about him being the iconic American president of the 20th century. It's about them wanting to harken back to a time period that they long for. The 50s, the 60s, old 20th century America. America at the height of its, like, cultural hegemony, if that makes sense. But before the Civil Rights Movement, before a lot of stuff, or at least before the Civil Rights Act, I should say. Like, directly before it. So to them, he's a symbol. It's not about him as a person. It's about Kennedy and his family dynasty as a symbol of what they want, or at least what they think they want. So you gotta stop thinking about stuff about Q literally and think about it in terms of narrative. Because the people who construct this conspiracy and follow this conspiracy are not thinking literally or in real-world terms. They are 100% thinking in narrative terms because that's how their brains work, or if they're an orchestrator of this stuff, because they're trying to manipulate people. That's why you see so much connection to Q people who talk about, like, oh, we're in a movie. We're living in a movie. It's all a movie we're watching, because their brains are not viewing this, whether they realize it or not, as a real series of cause and effect events, but a narrative. Psychedelic, thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it. Tucker White says, don't you just love the inverse that happens with conspiracy theories? They'll look at photos of real shit like Zapruder film and go, that shit's fake. But then they'll take inconspicuous photos and make the most spurious paper-thin connections based on fucking veins. I know. It's crazy. I'm gonna save this guy for sure. Interesting.
Pledge my allegiance.
Oh, he's talking about the -48 guy. Interesting. Guys, this is important. Arcturian Ascension update. Oh, wait, Blackwing Hackety, I missed your bits. Sorry. Blackwing Hackety said, the only thing worse than KFJ Jr. is KFC Jr. Did I hear the Queen of Canada lady got arrested at the trucker protest? I thought she already got arrested a while back. Still, that's good. Alright, important message. Arcturian Ascension update. The storm has arrived, according to this woman. Let's check it out.
Thank you very much.
Speaking of which, what do I think of the trucker protest? I think if they were left-wing protesters or black people, they already would have been fucking arrested a week ago.
Open your crown chakra. We are opening the portal for
This goes on for about 2 minutes. I'm gonna skip ahead. I don't want to lose viewers. Maps and Mimic says, have we figured out if this is some language he's speaking or just tongues? I don't know. I have no idea.
And thank you very much for watching. Maybe this light code transmission by the Arcturians has inspired you. And they are working with us a lot at the moment.
To be clear, she thinks it's a language. She thinks she's channeling aliens. Blackwing Hackety says, in this children is what we call, oh gosh, echolalia? I don't know what that is.
Maybe you feel their energy too. I'm Sandra, I'm a psychic medium, I'm a starseed from Germany. Thank you very much for your kind and lovely support. We are so grateful for all your kind and lovely comments and for your support. We can't believe it that so many people are here again. Thank you so much from the deepest.
Tucker White says, also, if we're living in a movie like Q Fuck Say, then why can't I knowledge of conventions and cliches to game the system for all the money? Someone asked Starseed. Starseeds are sort of a new agey bullshit thing where people either think they or their children are super special little snowflakes, and that they're different than other human beings. Other human beings don't have their third eyes open, okay? But they do, and they're very in tune with the universe, man. And they're extra creative and, like, all sorts of other bullshit. It's a made-up thing for people to feel special, basically. Which is fine. Everyone is special. Everyone's different and unique. But it's kind of like a pretentious, I'm better than you version of that, and it's really shitty.
Bottom of our,
like indigo children, yeah.
Our heart. And even when you're listening to the following channeling by the Arcturians, please trust your intuition and pick up what resonates with you. We are all in training, and maybe we are wrong also. And maybe you feel them too. And it's a very complicated and a long story actually. And I try to put it into words. We have something like an astral wall now. This takes place in the astral realm. Since the portal 1010, the Arcturians especially, they are helping us. They are sending us so many codes, light, and healing energies.
The aliens are sending you coats? Oh wait, codes. Codes. I'm sorry, her accent threw me off and it threw off the closed captions. It made you think she said coats. Sorry, that's my fault. Honest Noir says, I grew up during the Indigo Children fad, which is literally this, but was a way for weirdo new age hippie parents to explain their neurodivergent children's behavior without getting them professional help. Yeah. Tucker White says, to quote Earth, the book, We once thought we were the center of the universe. In reality, we're nothing more than a microscopic tick biting on a zit on God's ass.
They are here for us, and they want to help us. It's a very complicated network. Okay, I try to explain it. I had seen myself in Atlantis. And since the fall of Atlantis, we have this grid here. It's a cube. That's what I have seen here.
Nice graphic.
That is what I have seen in Atlantis, that this cube was built up after the fall of Atlantis. It's a
Honestly, you go to Atlantis, you go for the restaurants, you stay for the weird cube. It's very strange.
grid, it's a matrix, and it looks like a cube. And this cube represents the 4D level to me. And Earth vibrates in a other dimension now. And what's happening is that Earth wants to break free from this cube. And actually their plan was that we never reach it to jump over 4D.
People who are already high in the audience, I envy you. Cult of Cautious Optimism says, okay, what is the blue ragdoll obsessed with Emma... Where is the blue ragdoll obsessed with Emma Watson? Yeah, it is very spirit science-y, isn't it? Is this Time Cube? It's not Time Cube. It's definitely word salad, though, on the bingo card. It is absolutely word salad.
4D is the limit, not higher. Because this cube represents 4D. And Earth is vibrating there in this cube. And that was the sad plan for humanity, for Earth, and for our lightful sisters and brothers. And I have seen me in Atlantis as a galactic being. And I have seen how the dark beings have landed in Atlantis. It was a very old and heavy ship. It looked very toxic. And this ship landed in the sea. Actually, it was almost impossible for them to...
Wait, is this Atlantis? Atlantis looks like a mid-tier metropolitan area. Alright, that's fine. It's just not the typical depiction of Atlantis I see. Did she mean to say Atlanta? It looks a little closer to Atlanta than Atlantis.
Land with their ships in Atlantis, but they reached it. And all this happened very fast. These beings came out very fast, because actually Atlantis vibrated too light for them. And
that'll happen. Your city will just vibrate too light. And then the aliens can't get to you. That's how it works. Tea with Goblin says, I'm hungover as fuck right now, so if Earth could stop vibrating, that'd be just swell. I think I'm gonna puke out of my chakras.
And it hurted them. That's why everything was so fast. And what they have done was
have fun.
To kidnap
Hydrate.
all the lightful sisters and brothers from Atlantis. The kings, queens, priests, priestess, healers, Reiki masters, all these people. It has exist also light workers in Atlantis, and they have built up a protection grid as well. Through visualization, they have built up a protection.
There was an edit there, and I just want to know what she cut out. What was so out there that she's like, no, I gotta edit that part out. That's out there. I didn't think that part through. What's the edit for?
Grid. And all these people were catched by them, by the Anunnaki and their fallen dragons.
No, this isn't the forests aren't real person. We can get to that soon.
And Marcel was there, my twin flame. I have seen him there.
Oh no! Her twin flame is Marcel! That makes so much sense! They look like they could be siblings!
and they catched him. They wanted to catch.
I need to bring this up every time just in case. I gotta look up. Did they ever arrest Marcel? Did they ever find him? Marcel. Manitoba RCMP's most wanted. He's still on the loose. Marcel is still on the loose. Nick says, yes, they arrested Marcel. She caught him. Anti-Pretzel says, if the Starseed nut bars ever wrote one big agreed on book and read it just to make sci-fi crap out of it, and then also to laugh heartily like a barrel-chested man from the 30s. Procagam says, every time they corner him, he blows a massive weed smoke cloud and disappears. Oh. Looks like they still haven't found him. That's a shame. What happened with Marcel? Marcel threatened a governor or a mayor or something and told people to go do terrible things to him that I can't repeat here. Let me put it this way. His video was bad enough that it got his Rumble channel deleted. Do you know how bad you have to be to get your Rumble channel deleted? So anyway, now he's on the RCMP's most wanted list. I miss him. I miss the man. I'll tell you that much. I certainly do. Sovereign Citizen Watch days will never be as interesting without him.
Catch me too. They reached it to catch me. And they had put me in the other dimension. What happened to us, again, that we stayed in the fourth density, was almost the same feeling to Atlantis. But it was a little bit different there. They had put me in a parallel matrix there, but it was impossible for me to move.
Psychedelic says, is it okay if I ask if you can say... Sure, I guess. Remember, kids, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Buy gold. Buy. Color Pie Emmy says, at least somewhere in Canada, an otter and his family are at peace. True. Ashy Boo says, I kinda wish Marcel was uploading on the Run vlogs. That'd be hilarious. I know. I know. Let me make sure he hasn't uploaded anything. His website's still up. He might have paid out for the rest of the year. Yeah, he hasn't posted in 3 months, so I think he knows he's fucked. Gimp Vet says, Gimp, Lou, you are not the only one that responds to me while alone in your room. Just enjoy the stream already. Will I cover his legal process when he's apprehended? If it's public information, of course. They're a judge. He's fucked. Okay, I'm done with Atlantis Lady for now, I think.
There. I could.
I've gotten a little farther into Transformers 5 and I didn't.
After this video, we'll do trees.
Fall asleep. So it's becoming clearer.
Bittergrin, thanks for 14 months.
As the movie goes along, this is all pagan, witchcraft, religion. The story. That's what the story. The Last Night. Transformers: The Last Night. So
This is a recent video. Why is he referencing Transformers 5? Transformers 5? Is that Transformers 5? Science fiction is fact. Yep.
It could very easily be seen and said that this could be predictive programming. Basically, the plot is that Transformers were here way back since the time of Merlin, and Merlin controlled the super staff to save the world, and these Transformers formed into a dragon to save them back then, and they've been helping mankind guard the secrets ever since and keep mankind alive and blah blah blah. The aliens are already here, but we're just not ready for them to be revealed yet.
It's a Transformers film. Medicated person with a link says, important. This better be important.
Buy crypto, suckers!
Oh, Bill Cipher. Nice.
Kind of thing. So,
yeah, aliens on bingo.
Will they try to pass off some alien robot race as the ancient aliens, or is that, just the plot line predictive programming?
That's just the plot of a bad Transformers film. Rageology says, live scenes of Marcel and the Peacemaker Society preparing to take on the Canadian authorities. I wish him not luck, but I hope someone films it.
Only time will tell. So a lot of people have been saying, expecting the fake alien invasion or revelation, if you will, to present the false messiahs. And, this Transformers 5 goes right along with that plot. So it's pretty funny that main family, if you watch the old Transformers, the kid's name Shia LaBeouf was Witwicky, right? Well,
Witwicky.
Turns out the proper family name is Witwickens. Well, let's break that down. Wit. Keen, sharp intelligence, smart, right? So we've got the smart Wiccan.
Worst movie you saw in theater? I saw Transformers 2. Probably, I'm just going to go with the one that's the most painful, especially because of its length, and I sat through the whole thing. Les Mis, the movie adaptation with Russell Crowe that was really bad. Les Mis.
Or smart pagan witches. Showing you all the space stuff and all the dinosaur, and the entire theme of this Transformers 5 is based on magic. So they are the smart mind magicians.
I did not see Cats.
That have put spell.
Not in theaters, at least. I think I maybe watched it out of theaters, but I don't remember it.
On the entire Earth to make them believe all of this alien nonsense. I wonder what they might use that for. Y'all have a good night. God bless. Don't be fooled by the Witwickens.
Okay then, let's go to the tree thing. So this is a long video. I don't know how much of this we're actually going to get through, but it's a video that's pretty popular. It's called There Are No Forests on Earth, English dubbed. This has been dubbed and spread around by a lot of flat earthers and other stuff. This is 328,000 views. So, not bad. Should we check bingo first? I guess we can. I'm going to have to do my intro again after, though, because I'm going to cut this out for YouTube. Oh, God, I don't remember, like, any of the shit. Word salad. If you're going to call out numbers, give me a number and why. Like, what was it, so I can double check. Numerology. Someone said PSYOP, I know that. No, wait. That was... Actually, no, they didn't. That was in a video I watched before stream. Moose Guy referred to Freemasons, okay. Spurious symbology. Dead celebrity. Q claimed as a source. Overt anti-Semitism. Hannah does the exasperated, so exasperated all she can do is put her hands in her head in her hands. Aliens. Cites fiction as fact. Hannah might die of laughter. $4D is not $5D. That's $1D less than it should be. Yeah, we can do Ancient Wisdom for the Atlantis thing. That's fair, I guess. Which number was Ancient Wisdom? 27? Ancient Wisdom. Okay. Okay, I gotta do my intro again for YouTube. Sorry, everyone. Okay, so this is a video entitled "There Are No Forests on Earth." This is a relatively popular Flat Earth video that gets passed around. I think it was originally in Russian or some other language, but this has since been dubbed and spread around. This particular version has 328,000 views. So, not nothing. Let's go ahead and check out why forests are a conspiracy, I guess.
There are no forests on Earth. When you read this headline out loud, even with the exclamation mark at the end, every sensible person
Is that loud enough, or do I need to turn it up? Let me know.
will say that I'm out of my mind, and you will want to show me tons of photos with images of forests. I want you to believe that this is another trick. They make us think that this is a forest, when you actually are looking at 30-meter bushes.
No, those are trees. Those are trees. Those are trees.
This is total bullshit and nonsense, you will say to me. Of course we know what forests look like, because we've all walked in them.
It's Ceci asks, did we get expert gives opinion outside of their field of expertise? No.
Well, I expect that's how you will react, and that's fair. But after watching this video, its headline won't seem so strange to you, because you will reverse your concept of forests by 360 degrees. And now, first things first.
I think they mean 180. I think they mean 180. Stone Corbell says, we defined what forests are, so when we look at what we've defined as forests, we call them forests, yes. You know what they say? She can't see the forest for the 30-foot tall bushes.
We will begin with a well-known picture. Children see 9 dolphins on it, but adults see 2 lovers. A huge difference, don't you think? Try to see dolphins on it and see how hard it is. Feminine fruities just won't transform into dolphins for most adults. And that's funny because it's the opposite for kids. There is only one picture, but we see it completely differently. What is more, children and adults can't exchange perceptions. Why is this the case? It is simple. Eyes see the way the Matrix ordered them to, but that's not the way the real world looks.
Matrix misunderstood on the bingo card.
Our eyes become traitors over time. We were blinded while in childhood. The outward world is quite different.
Procagom says, you heard it here first. Kids can't see boobs. It's a weird blind spot for them. And Dr. Gamble says, I live literally next to a forest. I'm looking at it right now. I took a stroll in it just the other day. WFT, what fuck the is this lady talking about?
We see things through prism of habit and experience. And this prism distorts everything completely. At 30 years of age, this prism works to protect your mind.
I mean, I kind of actually like that USB hub. I don't know why they chose this picture, because that's actually just rad.
And at 40, you could go crazy without this prism. Do you think I'm exaggerating?
Joke's on you. I'm not making it to 40.
Look at this photo. I'm claiming that it is from a mesa that was formed from a magmatic melt from the Earth's depths about 200 million years ago. You think I'm out of my mind? Maybe you're out of your mind. You will understand soon.
That's a tree stump. 74 Quinn 74 says, did you know that my palm trees are not true trees but plants with the form of gigantism? I did not know that.
We'll come back to this plot of grass later. For now, remember how we bumped into this old stump. Sometimes humans even try to take photos trying to hug the unhuggable trunk of a tree. But really, think about it. Old trees are a rarity. They are all registered, they are tracked, and are being kept
I don't think every old tree is tracked, but a lot of them are, yeah.
in reserves, like memorials of nature. There is an uproar on the internet about forests. Why all forests in the earth, even in Siberia, are not older than 200 years old? Where are all the giants?
The redwood forests are a thing. What?
It is right that the people...
Yeah, why does she think all forests are only 200 years old? I don't even know where she's getting that claim.
People are in an uproar about it. But
Yeah, the Amazon is more than 200 years old. I don't know why she's claiming this. It's not true. Tucker White says, actually, Hannah, well, obviously, if you watch this in Japanese, as Yahweh intended, then it's actually brilliant.
I want to look at the problem from another angle. From the side of the Earth's poles. The thing is that...
Like, I literally grew up in a rural area where it's all woods. It's never been developed outside of the area, like, where the houses already are. So there were woods behind my house that went on a decent bit. It's never been developed on by people. That forest has been there, like, for a long time. What?
Even Soviet...
It's such a weird claim.
Soviet biologists found strangeness in the poles.
Oh my god, that can't be real, is it? She thinks the forests are that young because she thinks all trees get that huge when they get old? Oh my god. Cult of Cautious Optimism says, so her thesis is, I'm not crazy, you're crazy. And Jitara says, so wait, this person knows what prisms and plate tectonics are, but doesn't understand what a forest is? This makes my head hurt.
And unnatural amounts of water kept in the ice and snow. And there's an unnatural percentage of carbon dioxide in the world's oceans. This abnormal concentration tells us exactly about a worldwide fire of the past. Using simple math, those scientists come to the conclusion that those fires carried away 99% of the Earth's biosphere.
What?
We all know
Yeah, sure, that's not how science works on the bingo card. I feel like this whole video is going to be that.
that living cells consist of hydrogen and carbon, so the ice on the poles are made mostly from water, from burned organisms.
What? That's not how this works! What? Jitara says, or it's just frozen water. I'm thinking it's that one. Dr. Gamble says doesn't understand how trees work on the bingo card.
And now, think about this number, 99%.
Baja's in lab right now, guys. Baja can't save you. She's not here. She's at lab, doing science. She's off being productive while I do this for a living. Tucker White says, that's it. I gotta play it.
Shut up, shut up, shut up! Jesus Christ, man, what the hell is wrong with you? Please, just shut up!
It means that everything that now grows, crawls, flies, swims, and runs on the earth is 20,000 times less in volume than before this catastrophe.
Who's Baja? Baja is my fiance, who is a PhD candidate in developmental genetics. So when we need science questions answered, she answers them.
20,000 times. To imagine this, look at this picture. This piece of bread is humans, plants, animals. Just this pathetic small piece of bread on...
I'm bread? Rad. Honest Noir says there would be a layer of carbon in the soil from when this happened if it was real.
This large transport truck represents Earth's biosphere before those times. I hope you understand that today's myth of overpopulation is just pure hoax and nonsense. 100%. But here's the problem. Biologists divide...
Tucker White says, Hannah, let's not gaslight Rachel Oreo. Baja never existed. She's a character you play. Wow, I play that character really well then. Procagam says, somewhere in some lab, Baja senses a disturbance in the Force, and she laughs at our pain.
This number between all the continents, and only calculated into this figure the dry land.
So that's why it's called
not
bread,
all the
too?
ice and snow that is on the Earth. And there's a lot of snow and ice.
Not for much longer. Don't worry about it.
Fact is fact. But as always, illumination can come suddenly, and stereotypical thinking is to blame. 30-meter tall forests are like a virus that takes over both our brains, and especially the brains of biologists, which prevent us from finding a solution to this problem. If plants can't fit broadwise, then we should fit them upwards, and then it should make sense.
What?
In this new theory, hypothetical forests of unthinkable height were drawn.
These are literally just pictures of cool fantasy landscapes.
And here's the thing. We found these old photos. This is the vandalous felling of the sequoias in the California redwood.
Yeah, redwood trees are fucking huge. They're a specific kind of tree that grow that way. Most trees don't grow that big, even under ideal conditions. That's a specific kind of tree.
Between 1880 and 1920. These trees miraculously survived the planet's bombardment in 1816. Just imagine how many years this tree needs to grow to these sizes.
Cujo says this lady and Cussy guy could make the dumbest power couple. True?
Then these terrible men come with saws and axes. 1, 2, and no more tree.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the redwoods are protected now, aren't they? The ones that still exist?
In proportion of this tree, we can see a rule. The diameter of the stump is 3 times bigger than the woodcutter's or feller's growth. Let's look at this formula. You just think about it. You are entering a forest that is not usually 30 meters, but 100 meters.
I don't know what she's claiming happened in 1816.
Here are your fairy forests from fairy tales and books. Forests that are lost because of...
Most fairy tales don't have forests like this. Again, like, sequoia trees are badass. They're really, really cool and wonderful, like, things in nature. But they're not the norm. They've never been the norm.
Such barbarians. I understand that they are just wage workers, and they must feed their families. That this is just an order from above. But if every single woodcutter refused to carry out these criminal orders, all the forests would be saved, because their demon bosses are too arrogant to do it with their own hands. And that is why I will send these merry woodcutters' defenders to a well-known place. Look at this photo carefully. They look like satanic bacterias that want to kill the forest organism.
Satanism on the bingo card. I guess they're satanic bacteria now. D with Goblin says 1860 was called the year without a summer. Let's see. Severe climate abnormalities caused an average global temperature to decrease by 0.4 to 0.7 Celsius. Oh, okay. Hello.
Hi. It's funny because you were saying that I was being productive when I was a block away. So, I drove past 2 forest preserve areas on my way home. What are those if they're not forests?
Bushes. They're bushes. They're bush preserves. Gitara says, I thought she was against the trees, and now she's calling these people who cut the trees down terrible? And what happened to the forests being fake? Guys, she thinks every other forest is fake. She thinks the redwoods are trees. Dr. Gamble says, my brain right now. If it loads. Stone Corbell says, ah yes, demons are cutting down the trees because evil, not because capitalism makes money from cutting down trees.
For those who think that trees were killed just because of wood materials, I want to dispel your claims.
Hello, Father.
Trees are energy generators. They produce constant electricity, oxygen from photosynthesis, food. They have a root network and are programmed to exchange data. Our ancestry had a theory that trees are programmed to keep data from everything on the planet and save it in their information portal in their...
Okay, none of that's true. Trees aren't fucking hard drives. Trees aren't computers. What the fuck are you talking about? Psychedelic says, so we're short-shaming trees now? She's describing how the trees work in the movie Avatar? In James Cameron's Avatar. It's not how trees work. They cut them down for the lumber. Overthought with 50 bits and a link.
It's funny how dumb you are.
Your hair looks super cute.
Thank you.
Their carbon fibers. I do not know the reason, but some sequoias that these vandals left alive even put a fence around it and called it a wildlife sanctuary.
Wait, so you're mad that they cut them down and now you're mad that we're not cutting them down? Take a pick. Anti-Pretzel says, ma'am, stop being Onision, an SCP. Rageology says, if these past forests of megatrees weren't the home of Wookiees and this isn't viral marketing for the next Disney Star Wars movie, I'm gonna be disappointed.
Of course, park guides will tell you tales from the crypt. How in the stupid Zoic era, stupid soars scratched their booty on the old sequoias of California.
Oh, they called dinosaurs stupid. Got 'em. Boom.
Let's summarize everything. Remains of the giant trees of the past are found, and homeless ice and snow of the poles took their place in the mosaic. It seems like everything is clear, but it is not. Nothing is so...
What's wrong with dinosaurs? I'm assuming she doesn't believe dinosaurs are real. Or were real.
simple. If we take myths and legends of all nations, you can find lots of stories about people, animals, and plants morphing into stone. This is normal because paleontologists all over the world dig petrified fossils of humans, animals, and plants. There are so many of them that old museums are overfilled with petrified fossils of clovers, frogs, lizards, pieces of dinosaurs, and so on. Frogs and clovers are fine, but what about the forests? Guys, where are the trees?
Have you not heard of petrified wood? Like, petrified wood is a thing. What?
Old sequoias of California do not fit here because they are made of carbon. It means they are not related to the Silicon era. Why do I know this? First off,
there's carbon in all trees. What?
They were cut and sawed by standard instruments. All axes and saws would break if they had to cut silicon.
She thinks trees are fucking what?
So where are the silicon trees, if those giants from carbon are not related to the Silicon era? Guess what? They were found. Guess where? In the same North America, in Arizona to be precise. Ah, this zone of the Aryans. There are so many things going on there.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh god. We're getting into Aryan shit. Is this gonna get racist?
The giant quarry that is now called the Grand Canyon. Like one
Quarry?
person under the nickname Wake Up Human said, it is an apogee of the cynicism to name Quarry Waste as a national park. It is not a national park. It is just a quarry.
What? It's a canyon that was dug out over a long period of time by a fucking river. What?
And think with the ancient Russian words root kolo.
Does, okay, when I think quarry, I think like they're digging it up for rocks. Does quarry just mean any area with fucking rock? Because yeah, but that's kind of, saying the Grand Canyon is just a quarry would be like saying the ocean is just water. Like, there's similar, no, I'm right? Okay, so she's just stupid. Okay, so she is stupid then. Just checking. Stone Corbell says, how do you get absolutely every detail of everything wrong like this? Psychedelic says, as someone who grew up wanting to be a paleontologist, someone needs to tell her the bigger something is, the harder it is for the full thing to fossilize.
Is doing in the opposite part of the world. And the root Ra, I won't even mention. Here is the city of Aryans, from which left only the vortex that made Hooligan meteorite 50,000 years ago. That's how Wikipedia is telling us this total bullshit.
It's a crater that a fucking meteor hit!
Oh, and by the way, here are our silicon trees. I wanted to introduce to you the museum under the open sky. Petrified trees here are just scattered in the desert and also fenced. Everyone today can visit this circus called Petrified Forest National Park.
Okay, so she knows fucking petrified trees are a thing. She just chooses to think they're not. Sorry, I'm trying to type something. Hold on. I gotta find the right emoji, because I'm a bottom. There we go. That's the sad eyes. Thanks, Baha. Vittergrin says, wait, she's claiming Aryans had a city in Arizona? Yeah.
In this park, petrified fossils are not common. They are unique. If turtles and frogs were petrified and...
G-Tara says, petrified trees would still be made of carbon, though. WTF is she even on about? I Couldn't tell
pale
you.
gray boulders. Then this trees morphed into semi-precious stones.
Yeah, she's just translating because this is, it was originally in a different language. So this woman presumably agrees with what the video is saying because she took the time to translate it, and she's reading it. Cruelty1 says, we're devolving as a species, aren't we? I don't know. I really don't. I flip back and forth on if, like, social media and the internet has actively made misinformation spread so easy that it's making people stupider, or if we're just more aware of the stupid. I don't know. I don't know. Bittergrin says, yes, the petrified forest is beautiful, but not evidence of any of this bullshit.
Beautiful stones, aren't they? It is time to take stock. All our forests are young and do not grow higher than 30 meters.
Trees don't just grow indefinitely. There are different species of trees that have different, like, maximum heights. Trees don't just grow and grow and grow. Hydrate.
Remains of fairy forests were found in the sequoias of California, and biologists put poles of ice and snow in its place. We found petrified fossils of the Silicon era and trees from precious gems. Now everything fits together, right? Or no? In a perfect world, everything fits. In our cursed hell, nothing fits.
In our cursed
Since
hell,
that
where they
time,
fake trees.
when I was a kid and I saw petrified fossils on a TV show, I was tormented by that question. How is it possible for a frog to be morphed into a stone instead of rot like any organic body does?
You can literally Google how fossils are formed. It's a rare process for a reason. Rachology says there are entire mines based around mining ancient tree sap, and usual reminder that there weren't Aryans. There was a wave of migration of Proto-Indo-European people over many hundreds of years who weren't a unified culture, and their descendants diverged further, and this happened in Central and South Asia and parts of Europe, not America, hence Indo-European. Screams an archaeologist. Thank you.
Let's see what Wikipedia tells us. Special rare conditions must be met in order for the fallen stem to be transformed into fossil wood or petrified wood. In general, the fallen plants get buried in an environment free of oxygen, which preserves the organic structure and general appearance. I understand this is dry British humor. If not, I will try to explain. You need some spontaneous disaster. For example, a volcanic eruption, tsunami, clay rain, which would quickly cover the frog and mammoth and make conserves from them, where bacteria won't decompose the corpse to the state of stink.
It just needs to be covered in some way where it's away from oxygen. That doesn't inherently necessitate some sort of natural disaster. It could just be a very strange circumstance.
Manure. In other words, to make the body petrified.
Honest Noir says, or it could fall into a tar pit. Yeah.
You need to cover or engulf the body and to compact it. According to so-called scientists, the tissue...
Tucker White says, Southern Hannah, fossilization is just a myth spread by big archaeology.
...was organic, and then it magically turned into silicon.
It's not magic. Fossilization is a pretty well understood phenomena.
SiO2. Remember this formula. If you have ever buried your home pets, you can quickly run and dig them out. Your beloved pet is petrified, and you can put his statue on your table.
No, and I know you're being facetious here, but it's not even a good facetious. No one is claiming that just burying someone will automatically fossilize them. What?
Want to reproach me for such black humor?
Oh, I don't care. You're just dumb.
Redirect that to the official science community, which sells us such bullshit. A dead body has only two options. Dry up like an insect in a piece of amber, or the second option, just simply rot. Organic
Incorrect. Rarely they fossilize.
bodies will never turn into rubble. Never. This absurdity is invented to hide the truth. Magical morphing into stone is a little thing. Transforming wood into semi-precious stones, this is where the lies and ignorance become uncontrollable. Tell me how a stick of wood can become a semi-precious stone.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love you.
I need a hug as payment.
Very fair. Mm.
You're gonna tip me over.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. I love you.
Love you too. Did you put this back in the fridge?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hi, Cassie.
You may have no answer, but I do, and we will discuss this later. For now, let's analyze what these gems show. I do not know about you, but I am confused by 3 points. First of all, according to the official story, these trees lost in an unequal battle.
Cat makes an appearance on bingo card. Stone Corbell says, so she thinks there was an era where there were plants and animals made out of silicon, and scientists know this, but they're pretending there's some magical process called fossilization because... I don't know. Because they're trying to hide things, because science are liars. It's my guess.
Against a neighbor volcano. Attention, 225 million years ago. But wait, there's more! This wood not only burned in hellfire, not only rotted into the wet ground, against all the laws of physics, chemistry, and biology.
Psychedelic says, this is literally just I don't understand the science, so it's all magic to me.
Just transmorphed into precious gems. David Copperfield is nervously smoking on the sideline. But this is not the end. Trees are not broken. Trees are sawn into even, accurate pieces. Well, I want to know the name of this brand of chainsaw that Aborigines use for this. I'm joking, of course, but the conclusion...
You know that civilizations without power broke apart rocks, right? You can literally go on YouTube and see how people break apart rocks today without power tools.
Conclusion is that this is not a museum, but stage theater.
But yes, this one is probably just broken.
These trees were sawn.
Chitara says, against all laws of physics, biology, etc., I'd believe that claim if the author of this video knew what any of those laws were.
And brought here by someone. You know, only a true fool would believe in the magical transformation of wood into precious stones and gems.
I guess call me Boo Boo the Fool then.
Here's another question. For what purpose did they make this circus with all these scattered pieces of silicon life
Disbelief of historical achievements, yeah.
form? And did you pay attention to how small these silicon trees are? They are incomparable, even with the sequoias of California. But this one is simple. They are not trees.
They're petrified trees.
There are trees' branches, giant silicon trees, and these trees were so big that American sequoias near them look like sticks near the baobab. And while tourists are freaking out over these precious gems, no one is paying attention to the background, because everything is hidden in plain sight. To understand what I'm talking about, let's return to our favorite plot of grass.
She's gonna say mountains are trees, isn't she?
And I want to ask you, what do you see?
Looks like maybe you took some sort of mound, plateau, and photoshopped it into an area with grass. and with a different top, so it looks like a tree stump, so you can say, aha, look, it's a tree stump. No, it's a plateau that you photoshopped into an area that makes it look like a tree stump. Things can be similar shapes and be different things. Astro Fox says, really cool fossil cleanse for afterwards. Cool, thanks.
A tree stump in the daisies? But I continue. This is Mesa that was formed from the magnetic melt from the Earth's depths about 200 million years ago. Do not believe me? And now?
Yeah, no, that's a fucking plateau. Bittergrin says she's gonna bring up Devil's Tower, isn't she?
Let me introduce to you. This is Devil's Tower.
You did it, Bittergrin. You called it.
Mesa, or so-called laccolith, that was formed from a magnetic melt from the Earth's depths about 200 million years ago. At least that's what Wikipedia tells us. And billions of people believe that this is Mesa, laccolith, or a mountain.
It's what it is.
Really? Let's come closer to our tree stump to look at his fantastically inexplicable columns.
I would imagine they're explained. Let's see. Devil's Tower columns. Control F, columns. The columns of Devil's Tower are its most striking feature. This appearance, known as columnar joining, is not unique to the tower. However, the size of the tower's columns is unmatched. Soaring hundreds of feet into the air and stretching 10 feet within, the columns of Devil's Tower are truly spectacular. Column formations occur only in igneous rocks. Igneous rocks originate from lava on the Earth's surface, or magma below the Earth's surface. As the molten rock cools from a liquid into a solid form, it begins to contract. This contraction stresses the cooling rock, which begins to crack. The cracks radiate out from stress points, forming hexagonal, six-sided shapes. Many examples of columnar joining form perfect hexagons. The tower columns are more irregular in shape, possibly because of the large size. There are also many five-sided or pentagonal columns on the tower. Scientists are uncertain what caused the variation in shape. So basically, when the magma or lava or whatever cooled, it contracted, and because of physics, it cracked in a way that made it look like it's vertical columns.
Let's look in the Wikipedia ones again.
So the opposite of... it's the opposite of inexplicable.
Igneous rock is formed through the cooling and solidification of magma or lava. Really?
Bittergrin says, I've been there. It's not a tree. Clearly not a tree, and those columns are plenty explained.
What a smart magnetic melt. It's just stood still and froze in the appearance of perfect hexagonal column.
Again, no. It was already in like a mound, and then it started cooling, and as it did, it started breaking apart like that.
For 300 meters in the sky. You can synchronize your instruments with these miraculous columns.
You definitely couldn't. Don't get me wrong, in terms of like nature shit, it's very ordered, but like, they're far from perfect.
Were they squeezed out of cream injector, then tied in a bun like a broom, and then a big giant fan blew near to help the columns to curdle faster? Maybe the columns of Parthenon or Isaac's Cathedral were built in the same way. Gentlemen...
Bittergrin says, it didn't stand still. It was surrounded by dirt. The dirt was washed away over millions of years. The rock didn't. Sorry, I've just been everywhere. She's lying about. Thank you.
Scientists, are you out of your mind writing this garbage? Humans, are you out of your mind believing this garbage? Claiming that this geometrical masterpiece appeared as the result of a lava fountain is the same bullshit as claiming that a racing car appears on the track because of an explosion at a Ferrari factory.
Oh, that's just straight up creationist arguments right there. Sky Comet Fallen says, hexagonal. Say it right. I'm not going to call someone that.
Have you ever seen what a fountain of lava looks like? In those times, lava had artificial intelligence. Really? Comparative analysis. All columns are hexagonal.
Getting awful creation-y in here, I know, right?
Why exactly hexagonal? Because the universe's masterpieces are built in this form. There are no snowflakes exactly the same, but all of them are in a perfect hexagonal shape.
Gitara says, but sigh, a tree that tall would be sticking out of the fucking stratosphere where the tree's leaves, bark, and internal structures would freeze and suffocate.
Bees, too, without the knowledge of mathematics, correctly identified that the regular hexagon has at least...
They didn't identify. They were selected for it because the ones that happened to do it that way succeeded, survived better.
...perimeter among all the other shapes of equal area, so you can fill this shape most efficiently. When bees build honeycombs, they instinctively try to make them as roomy as possible and spend as little wax as possible. Hexagonal shape is the most efficient, economical figure for building honeycomb. Blind sheep cannot understand that our universe is fractal. That is why there is no difference in what scale you study it.
That sounds like woo-woo bullshit.
In the scale of a mountain, or the scale of a tree that everyone has outside their window. And now let's open a botany textbook. Let's find the structure of any plant and let's compare it with our giant stump. We won't go deep into this. We only want facts that fall into our hands from the stump's photos. So it will be useless to try to argue against those facts. I want to introduce you to the cross-section of a stem of flax. Well, well, gentlemen biologists, are you noticing anything? No? Look, it seems like honeycombs in the middle. Wowzers, and they are all hexagonal. Well, well, what a coincidence.
Literally, yes. I don't even think it's a coincidence. You pointed out that that's an efficient shape. Things that naturally select will do that. That's not crazy.
If we remove skin around this flax, our stump skin...
And as was pointed out in the article, not all the columns are hexagonal on the fucking devil's thing.
...is the same. Let's look at the small rocks around it, and guess what? Flax looks exactly like our stump from the bird's eye. They look identical.
No, they do not.
Exactly. The stump's fibers, like the fibers of the flax, has a hexagonal shape that is strictly preserved. It is geometrical the entire...
Overthought says, oh god, it's all hexagons. Get in the ship.
...length of the stem, and that is as much as 384 meters. I want you to pay attention.
I'm pretty sure those are like cells.
The stump...
If not cells, they're like things, but whatever.
Stump's fibers are even stricter in their proportion, as we learn from the botany textbooks. They are no different for the whole length, but are relative to each other. It is a branch of armature hexagonal cross-section after leaving the metal rolling mill. The fibers are not attached to each other, since they freely exfoliate and fall as the stone erosion goes. Each fiber out of our stump is covered with a thin skin, exactly like fascia, a thin...
Those are xylem and phloem. I don't know what that means, Baha. Cult of Cautious Optimism says, just for a bit of info, the cells of plants appear hexagonal due to a large water vacuole, which pushes the walls of the rectangular cell outward.
Sheath of fibrous tissue.
Phloem. Okay, I don't know what that is.
Tissue.
Food and water tubes. Gotcha.
Enclosing a muscle or other organ. As you see, petrified skin contacting winds and moisture is cracking, exfoliating, and showering. And this is direct evidence that the fibers of the stump consist of at least two components placed inside each other. Fibers do not go into the ground vertically. They gradually bend to transform into the root system like every tree does.
But you don't think those are trees?
As you can
think
see,
those are
the
bushes.
official story of spontaneous and accidental solidification of lava is 100% bullshit and falling apart quickly.
Source? Why are you saying it's bullshit? You can't just say that's bullshit. What you doing, Cass? Sorry. Gregory Term says, here's a good video about why bees makes hexagonal honeycomb. Too long didn't watch. The bees push outward from the interior of their cells, which naturally results in a hexagonal shape. The bees are not trying to conserve space or wax.
In 1977, Hollywood made a film called Close Encounters of the Third Kind, with Devil's Tower playing the main role, where we were told 100 times that this is a mountain where we can meet aliens. But
it's a movie.
This garbage is suitable for fools only. But where were your eyes?
It's a fucking fictional film, which I've never seen.
Gentlemen, hey, biologists, geologists, paleontologists, are you here? Do you study the world in a welder mask? And now, let's find out the height of the tree, which was a stump one day. Let's use the formula that I mentioned earlier. The diameter of our stump is 300 meters at the base.
Again, assuming all trees, even though this isn't a tree, she thinks it is, so she's using this. Assuming all trees grow the exact same. Very strange.
So if we calculate 300 over 20, we will get the height of, are you ready? 6 kilometers, 19,685 feet. Just
that seems unnecessary for a tree.
Just think about it. Everything is learned in comparison. I think we can put a big fat dot in here.
Like, what is the evolutionary advantage of a tree being that big? Seems bad. Seems bad? Seems like it wouldn't work very well.
Devil's Tower is a giant stump of a giant silicon tree with all the attributes of a normal stump that everybody's seen. But we should not underestimate the matrix that keeps all the cattle in the stables. I am sure that after such clear evidence, there will still be deep sleeping people who will ask for more. If you think that that's all my arguments, I want to disappoint you because
Bittergrin says a silicon structure that tall would shatter under its own weight immediately.
I have so many trump cards up my sleeve, and I will enjoy every...
By the way, we're only 27 minutes into this 1 hour, 17-minute video.
Every moment that I will throw them on the table. Well, we figured out everything about this stump. Let's move to another one. Yes? And you thought that this was the only one? You just need to remove your blinkers and you will see so much. Let me introduce to you Giant's Causeway in Ireland. Notice something familiar? Take a closer look. Again, hexagonal columns. Wow. If you did not notice the similarity to the Devil's Tower's fibers, you must be 100% blind. This is the same giant stump, but now it did not come out of the ground. This tree grew right on the sea's shore. The Giant's Causeway
It's not a tree, it's geological formations.
Consists of almost 40,000 columns of such geometrical proportions that all...
Crad Babe says that's how basalt crystallizes. Oh my fucking god.
All the bees in the world would be jealous. Of course, all nerds declared it to be a national nature reserve. Like I mentioned before, as one
The government are nerds now? You fucking nerds preserving nature.
person named
Procagom says, this woman has a great grasp of relativity because time sure is dilating when she talks.
Wake Up Human said, it is an apogee of the cynicism to name quarry waste as a national park. In which connection is quarry waste here? I will say later, but guess what the official science bleats about this Irish stump? Giant's Causeway is an area of about 40,000 interlocking basalt columns that result of an ancient volcanic eruption. Volcanic eruption!
Yeah, the other one was too. It's almost like these phenomena are related to one another, and that's why they look similar.
Please tell me how to stay calm and not erupt in a fountain of swear words in the direction of this science society. It is hard, very hard, but I will try because our enemies only want us to do it. I have only 2 questions.
Your enemies in Big Tree?
First of all, how many years was C.C. Campbell in a coma? And second, why do bees' honeycombs not declared as a result of a
Bittergrin says, funny, I was just asking how to stay calm and not erupt in a fountain of swear words at her.
ancient volcanic eruption, because they are not distinguishable at all. It's no less strange why street sidewalk tiles are not declared as a result of an ancient volcanic eruption.
Because we know they're not? Because they're not natural? Because we produce them and put them there? What? Gregory Term says, no, Hannah, small tree. She's an advocate of big tree.
Show me a single difference, nerds. And now I'd like you to come back to our old method and compare Giant's Causeway, but this time with real lava. I want you to remind you how lava erupts and flows. And this is how it congeals.
Again, as someone pointed out earlier in the chat, the stuff that's exposed now was underground in the past, and then the other stuff got eroded away. So, presumably, it flowed underground into some sort of chamber, or just got into the ground somehow and made that shape, solidified, cracked like that, and then over time, the rest of the soil washed away, only leaving that. Moira Soma, thanks for 9 months. Stream Baby. This Stream Baby's name is going to be Old Lady Crabtree. This baby's name is Old Lady Crabtree. Auntie Pretzel says, this is making Call of all people sound even the slightest bit sane, and that's an astronomical bar to clear.
And now, let's compare Devil's Tower.
Lily Lovestuff says, okay, in Lakota legend, the Devil's Tower was formed by the Great Spirit when a group of girls prayed to be saved from a bear. The girls were then transformed into the Pleiades? When they reached the sky in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, that's the star formation that the aliens come from. Sorry for the late reply, I was proofreading and working. Sky Comet Fallen says, Pleiades, thank you. Sky Comet Fallen says, is an idiot calling someone a nerd supposed to be an insult? Pleiades nuts.
And now let's compare with Devil's Tower with Giant's Causeway. Oh, sorry for my French. I mean, let's compare silicon stump with silicon stump. Somebody still believes in the lava fountain? If I didn't know about giant silicon trees, I'd rather believe in a giant cream injector and a fan, but not in volcano
A cream injector, you say?
Garbage. If you think that these two giant silicon trees are the only thing that I can show you, then you are mistaken. There are loads of them.
Bittergrin says you can see how it formed here. Oh, interesting. There's a little graphic that shows underground, and then it eroded away. About 60 million years ago, molten magma formed its way into the overlocking sedimentary rocks and cooled underground. The cooling igneous rock contracted, fracturing into columns. An earlier flow formed today in Missouri buttes. 2 and 3, over millions of years, the sedimentary rock eroded to expose Devil's Tower and accentuate Missouri buttes. The tower rises 867 feet from its base, 1,267 above the river, and 5,117 feet above sea level. The area of its top, or of its teardrop-shaped top, is 1.5 acres. Its base diameter is 1,000 feet. Interesting.
On the planet. The funniest thing is that normal people do not realize that they are stumps. But official
because they're not.
Science realized that seriously. That they should find out how to hide these trees from people who ask.
I feel like conspiracy theorists fundamentally don't understand why people get into science in the first place when they're like, they found the truth, but now they want to hide it. Why do you think most people get into science? What?
Too many questions, and they invented a genius name for these silicon stumps. The basalt cliffs.
It seriously feels like some of these people, like, were cool kids in high school or something, and they picked on nerds and people who got good grades, and then they got out of high school and lived their lives, and then saw people around them who they used to call nerds being more successful because they're more intelligent, or people who actually, try and do stuff. And instead of recognizing that their own failures might be their own fault for not applying themselves and trying to learn, they just go, all these nerds are fucking lying to us. It can't be that I'm wrong and that I demonized intellect and demonized trying to learn things. It must be that the learned are evil and hiding things from us.
I want you to pay attention to these two pictures, where fibers hang from the ceiling. How can volcanic version explain that? Lava was dripping, but it's dropped.
Again, no, presumably like the other ones, it was at some point underground, and then the surrounding soil eroded.
Did not fall to the ground. The drops stuck by their hexagonal honeycombs to the major neighbor drops, which somehow reached the ground. Look at this picture. Just an everyday photo with this girl. It's good. But the only thing she does not realize is that she's sitting near the stump of a silicon tree.
She's not. She's not.
All artifacts are in plain sight, but the prism of the matrix do not allow us to see 9 dolphins. There are tons of silicon stumps in the network. You can research this topic yourself. Google will help you. Let's move forward. I want to introduce to you one more hexagonal miracle of the Earth that is of silicon nature. I want to introduce you to the biggest salt lake in the world, Salar de Uyuni in Bolivia. As you can see, not everything is so simple as it is written in textbooks and shown on the Discovery Channel. Our tradition wanted to show you what
do your own research, if she said it.
Wikipedia is telling us about these hexagons. But the fibers of silicon stumps Wikipedia is changing it a bit. About the hexagonal structure of South American Lake, it is...
I like that this person is just doing a voiceover, but every time she fucks up, she's like, I don't need to do another take. Fuck it.
It's keeping silent. Like if...
She said it? Alright.
Fish. Like there's none of them. But they are there. Absolutely there. You won't believe it, but Wikipedia is not the only thing that's silent. After hours of research, I found nothing about this hexagonal structure. And only in one place I found a single phrase, like, look, how interesting this dried and cracked salt. And then I fell into a stupor. First of all, under the blazing sun's rays, every surface cracks like this. But not in hexagonal shape, like honeycombs. Secondly,
they're different materials made out of different things. Do you understand that the physical properties of a material are going to change how it breaks under specific conditions?
Cracks are deepenings between the fragments.
I think it's translated from Russian. I could be wrong though.
Of surface, but I see elevations. And this is opposite to the...
Yeah, my research said not by a researcher.
The cracks. It looks more like fiber fascia, like the silicon stumps one. And the third thing, why is all the salt surface in exactly a hexagonal shape? If the official story is not a sensible explanation, let me tell you my opinion. As Wake Up Human says...
She's getting worse at the line reads.
There are no salt lakes, just sludge settling tanks. I agree with him, but this is not the case. And here's why. I think that you've already realized that honeycomb's hexagonal shape is an attribute that belongs exclusively to living organisms.
It objectively is not.
Either is the possession of a queen bee, snowflake structure, or plant.
Snowflakes are not alive! Snowflakes are fucking water that freezes! What? You literally just disproved the thing you're trying to say!
Plant's fiber.
Does she think snowflakes are alive?
As we see with our own eyes, Salar de Uyuni is not just a giant layer of salt. It was a living being of the silicone form of life, which was scraped out by the adepts of technocracy, by their machines. Now you understand how far we are from reality?
Overthought says Frosty sang, damn it, he was alive. Maps of Mimic says, fucking how can she say they're all hexagons when we can pause the vid and see that they're not? I know, right? Does she just think hexagon means any shape that's, like, not rectangular, but has, like, you know... Like, does she not understand the specific number of sides thing and the shape? I don't know, whatever. Eek the Cat, thanks for subscribing at Tier 1 for 8 months.
If we can't even imagine a giant tree, then how can we imagine...
I can imagine a giant tree. Giant trees exist. Sequoias exist. But not the kind you're talking about.
Imagine a creature from salt, 10,000 kilometers wide. Then the height is impossible.
Oh, so she thinks that the salt flats are the remains of a dead giant sea creature. Great.
Possible to imagine. Now you understand that 7,500 years ago, our planet was so fantastic, fabulous, and beautiful.
It's still all of those things, and the version you're thinking of didn't exist. You are literally imagining a fantasy world.
The Cameron with his avatar.
Again, these are good for D&D. If you play D&D, these pictures are good for inspiration for cities or towns or whatever. That's cool.
Is a poor...
But it's a fantasy game, so...
Substitute. All that is left to us is a desert, which we have turned into a scrapyard. And what I mean by saying scraped out by their machines, well, to be short, while our society was sleeping in this matrix, working 9 to 5 hours a day, doing useless things, dreaming useless dreams, Our plant was literally being scraped out, and they are scraping.
She simultaneously thinks nature reserves are bad and for nerds, and is also saying we've ruined the environment. Seems weird, doesn't it? Raven says, I wish the world was as badass as these people make it out to be. It's still badass in its own way, though. It is.
Scraping it out now with their giant graders and machines. I will show you later. Well, the theoretical part is over now. It's time for the climax, and we are close to the runway. But before, we should return to our first stump and see one strange thing. I bet you did not notice. We saw many stumps, but this one is special. It has a flat surface on top, which means it was cut down.
It's a fucking plateau!
Yes, exactly. Cut or sawed.
Oh no, is this gonna turn into being about giant people?
And now our imagination is asking us, who cut it? For what? What did they cut it with? I will answer this question later. We will put these questions in the background because the stump that was cut is not a single one on the planet. I will tell you even more. Devil's Tower is a small one compared to the others. Boys and girls, our aircraft is ready to fly. Of course. Well, we have no course. We will fly around the planet. Fasten your seatbelts and better hold on to the handrails, because everything you will see will overturn your notion of rocks and mountains. Let's go! While we're flying, let's play a game. Find 10 differences. Though, there are only 2 differences.
Okay. One's a stump, and one's a fucking rock. Their size, their color, their material, their location. One's cut at the top, and one's just a flat fucking rock. Again, we're talking about relatively speaking. Age, that's another good one. I think I already said material, didn't I? One used to be alive, true. One has moss growing on it. The other has shrubs growing on it. Oh, we need one more, chat. Elevation! We did it. We did it, chat. That's 10. We nailed it. We fucking nailed it.
Material and size.
Oh, that's another good one. One has rings and the other doesn't. Growth rings, specifically. Erosion. That's a good one. I like that this whole video is over an hour long and her whole thing is, look it looks like a tree stump. She could have made a 3-minute video. Hi everyone, I think mountains are trees. Look at this stump. Look at this mountain. This mountain's a tree, because they look alike. Would have saved me a lot of time. Pardon the Confetti says, it's getting fashy. The world used to be better until they ruined it, eh? That one doesn't even look similar. Look at these mountains that are connected, and these trees are connected. Yep, that's a mountain and a tree stump. How much longer does this montage of mountains and tree stumps go? Holy shit, it's still going. Okay. Okay. There we go.
These stumps are sticking out everywhere on the whole planet.
They're fucking mountains!
There are hundreds of them. Scientists call them mesas, which means table in Spanish, because they have a flat peak, flat as a table. Well, Cool. Stumps.
Princess Amelia says, so things look vaguely like other things. True.
And now let's remember the beginning of our conversation. We thought we saw forests and even walked in them. So what does it matter if they are only 30 meters high? Is there a difference? We're pleased with the one we have left. We enjoy its beauty. We are accustomed to these forests, so we don't need another. Then we discovered that the old forest was preserved in the US, which is described in fairy tales and myths, giant 100-meter sequoias. This is the...
She says meter weird. It's Ceci says, look at the stump, isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think that this mountain is peat? That was pretty good.
Picture our mind draws when we hear the words fairy forest. Let's think about the sequoias in California and the prism of matrix forces. Otherwise, our mind's protectors will melt, because Devil's Tower is actually a 6-kilometer high tree. But realize that Devil's Tower is a young plant compared to other trees on our planet. For example, this mountain in Cape Town and
How high up does the atmosphere go? Like, hold on. In miles, preferably. So she said up 10 miles. 20 miles stratosphere. Okay, so it looks like the troposphere ends at around 10 miles and goes into the stratosphere, which ends at about 30 miles. Okay.
Africa is really impressive. This plateau is 3 kilometers in diameter. If we multiply 3 by 20, we will get a tree of 60 kilometers high.
That would be in the mesosphere. That would be a tree that goes into the fucking mesosphere. I don't think a tree could survive in the mesosphere.
Do you have any clue how big its branches are?
And yes, it says feet instead of feet. Feet.
On one of the branches, you could easily place a huge residential area with all the shopping malls, schools,
No, people wouldn't be able to fucking breathe. They would die.
and parks. Just imagine how huge it is. Of course, your mind will never see that this mountain in Africa is really a tree.
It's not.
That is 10 times higher than the Devil Tower tree. 60 kilometers higher. But guess what? That's not the limit.
Bittergrin says a normal tree, no, but a special silicon tree that somehow doesn't shatter under its own weight doesn't need atmosphere.
In the work of Russian scientist and poet Alexander Sergeyevich Pushkin, we can read about giant fairy oaks that was on the Bayan Island near Lokomori, and we now believe has been killed by our government.
The secret fantasy tree was killed by the government.
That
Maps and Mimic says, wouldn't they hit the glass dome or whatever? What happens when that small local sun or moon runs into the giant tree?
oak was supposed to be the center of the earth and was some 100 kilometers high.
I think that would be in space. Wouldn't that be in space? It would be too high. The answer is it would be too fucking high. Princess Amelia says, regular trees and forests that we can see and touch, I don't buy it. But 60-kilometer tall silicon trees from millions of years ago? That's plausible. Narnia Owl says, I swear that's just concert art from World of Warcraft or concept art from World of Warcraft or something. Chitara says, I mean, why would the government kill that big-ass tree, though? How would they even fell a tree that big? What would they do with the fucking wood? Or silicon or whatever? Like, you would need to do something with it. Astrofox says, the space station is roughly 250K, if I remember. So not quite there, but...
Not sure how high, but for sure higher than the Cape Town one. This oak was the biggest plant on Earth. Remember?
No one's gotten bingo yet, no.
In the beginning, I mentioned our prism of the mind that helped to preserve it, but distorts reality. Ask any person.
Oh god, there's still 30 minutes left of this fucking video!
To show you trees on the right photo. And he will immediately put his finger on the green on the ground. Without noticing that it's only pathetic bushes, it looks more like moss in comparison to this size.
Guys, did you know if you take photos from really high up, things look different? Crazy. Dregory Term says, well, clearly they put it all in California. It's not called Silicon Valley for nothing. And then Tuba Man says, obviously they would use all the wood and silicon to build the ancient cities.
But definitely not.
Yeah, we can go over stuff after this video, but honestly, this is probably the last video we're doing of the stream, so...
Not a forest.
I've seen Avatar.
Now you understand why we can't find 9 dolphins? But do not dwell on fish and stumps. Once again, I urge you to think in planetary...
Mid-video cleanse? There's no time! Here's the bingo card.
Sizes. If, instead of dolphins and stumps, we see lovers and mountains, imagine what is hidden from us with a curtain. That is why the apocalypse is translated as curtain opening. Do you understand now why I mentioned this matrix prism in the beginning? Through which we are looking, and it turned out that we see nothing. The real world is different. I can call today's state of society a real dream, and the sad part is it is not figurative. You know, in the Russian language, the word tree is spelled D-E-R-E-V-O, de-re-vo. The word ancient tree is spelled de-re-vo, and the word ancient trees is spelled de-re-nost. It means in Russian language, the language of the Aryans.
Oh, yikes. Tomb Man says, don't tell this lady about Dark Souls. Oh, are these big-ass trees? Big-ass trees.
Time. When giant old trees grew. Interesting, isn't it? Well, let's put all that in our pocket and continue our flight. I think you will ask me, and maybe it's time to ask questions. Who cut down this forest? Why did they cut?
Who cutted? For what? With what? They cutted it.
What did they use it for?
The eternal question. Who cutted?
No.
Lily Lovestow says, don't tell this lady that the Russians are Slavs and the Nazis hated Slavs.
It is too early to ask that. We know that the whole face of the planet was covered by giant vegetation.
How is fairest formed? Am I pregnant?
So we can ask ourselves, where did all the other forests go? The thing is that this so-called mesa are just single ones, because only the best were chosen for cutting. Whole other forests up the planet were laid down.
Where are the trunks if they cut it?
By blast waves. We reviewed only stumps with flat peaks. Does anyone remember how not cut but actually broken trees look like? I will remind you. Understand my hint? Let's play the game again. Find 10 differences.
Okay, same answers as last time. Zozo Horror Show, thanks for 14 months, says, 14 months of appreciation, keep being amazing. Thank you. I'm gonna skip to when she talks again. Oh, we're doing more. Okay, cool.
Tree,
there we go.
Broken it. Words. I think you understood the meaning of my words. So I want you to look at the highest stumps of our planet.
Bittergrin says, so wait, if every mountain is a tree, what the fuck about volcanoes? We can watch lava form new mountains. Zozo Horror Show, thanks for 50 bits.
They were
Hype Train active.
mined like a quarry and were broke by blasts. For example, the tree Everest.
Alright, I'm good. Princess Amelia says, this mountain obviously used to be a tree because the top is flat. Also, this mountain also used to be a tree because the top is pointy. I am very intelligent. Maps and Mimics with 50 bits, posts a link.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
63% to level 1. They're mountains! They're mountains!
Have you already guessed? There are no such things as rocks on our planet. They are all just pieces of broken stumps.
Bittergrin, thanks for 1,000 bits, says, I think this is the conspiracy theory that finally broke me. You're welcome. Hold on. Baja sent me something that's pretty funny. Tina Peters, a Colorado election official who leaked passwords and private election data to the MyPillow guy, was arrested today. Oh, she resisted arrest, too. Interesting. Good. Fuck her. 28% to level 2.
You can look at millions of photos, but the only thing that you will find...
Oh, Jitara says, so I guess just everything that is remotely big is a fucking tree. Mount Everest, tree. Mariana Trench, a tree. The moon, you guessed it, a tree. The moon is actually a dragon egg. I learned that from Doctor Who. Nick says, counterpoint lady, your brain.
...is corpses of our true environment. How official science explains our origin of rocks, I think you guessed too. Now you understand why we are so charmed by rock? Why are all elite properties placed between rocks? Why the most clean materials for construction are pieces of rock? Because even if they are dead, they still emit powerful energy for us.
What?
Mortal carbon human beings. Stone is a bridge between silicon and carbon life forms.
What? They're fucking rocks, lady. Dr. Campbell says, is Big Stinky Baby a tree then? Yeah, I guess.
And now, the important thing you must learn is how to distinguish rocks from mountains. I'm
curious. 31% to level 2.
They are completely different things.
Okay.
Rocks consist of solid pieces of ragged stone with...
Like that mountain is made out of? Narnindi Owl says, if everything is a tree, then nothing is.
Fragments of fibers that reach to the sky. But mountain is just a pile of loose waste, which were brought on by giant machines. It has almost perfect cone shape, like every loose structure does. Sometimes those piles have chemical waste inside.
She thinks mountains that she doesn't think are trees are artificially created and full of toxic waste. Alright.
And sometimes those wastes react with each other, and sometimes they burn, and sometimes explode.
Okay, that's how she's trying to explain volcanoes. They're full of toxic chemical waste. It's not magma. Liquid hot magma. Carney, thanks for 4 months.
And
says what?
Then nerds in white coats scream that they invented a new volcano.
No one invented volcanoes. They're a thing Pompeii called. They said, ah! I'm being burned by liquid hot magma!
And will immediately tell you stories from the crypt. How 200 million years ago this volcano formed those silicon stumps. And explain the origin of our street sidewalk tiles as a result of an ancient volcanic eruption. That is why there's no such thing as volcanoes, rocks, and mountains on our planet.
There's no such thing as volcanoes, rocks, or mountains. I love this. 30 seconds left on the hype train.
You can throw out these terms from your vocabulary. Okay, let's fly further. So, from our window you saw that absolutely all the rocks on our planet are just corpses of the silicon form of life. They are all fallen trees, you want to ask? No, not all of them have hexagonal structure like the Devil's Tower.
Elminato says, everyone knows volcanoes are artificial. Haven't you seen a science fair volcano? You wouldn't believe how much vinegar they had to get for Vesuvius. It was crazy.
Some of these rocks have
Carney, thanks for gifting us up.
lamellar structure or spongy structure, like our mushrooms do.
Okay, so they're not... We're not stupid, guys. Not every mountain is a tree. Some are mushrooms, obviously. Think about it.
Like liver is different from our heart or our lung, so our ancient world was so diverse that we can't identify or even imagine lots of species.
Maps and Mimic says, rocks are the link between silicon life and living mortals and give off massive energy, but also, rocks are fucking fake, nerd. Gitara says, there's no such thing as rocks. What is the planet made of, lady?
Sure, like our mushrooms do.
She did show a fly trap when she was talking about mushrooms, which is interesting.
Like liver is different from our heart or lung, so our ancient world was so diverse that we can't identify or even imagine lots of species and subspecies.
Maps and Mimics gets a 5K bits badge.
This theme was covered in detail by Pavel Ulyanov. His YouTube name is Wake Up Humans. He did revolutionary work in the theme of geology and bucket wheel excavations work. Let me introduce to you this giant cuttlefish, which is a Badger 288, one of the world's biggest rotor excavators.
Excavators? Why did you choose to narrate this if you can't fucking speak?
And this is how those machines work. They crawl on its wheel parallel to the quarry wall. Giant wheels with ladles scratch at rock and ground, leaving concave wall. Geologists must be hypnotized in schools. While they...
No, they're educated, a thing that you lack. Nick says, did they get this woman off for the Alibaba version of Fiverr?
They're students, because why else would they call quarry waste miracle of nature? Like, for example, this cliff in Australia. Want to laugh? If you do not believe in the idiocy of this last stage, just Google wave rock and check the official explanation. 100% unbelievable how people buy into this.
It's a fucking rock formation!
Some people will ask which stone was part of the living plant and which not. I want to tell you that at least 7,500 years ago there were no such things as stones. Everything you find now was part of our ecosystem.
Nick says, wait, who made this fucking video? That woman was a hiker who I think disappeared. I think she lived, but her companion died. Someone in Russia made it.
But then people said they want to be gods themselves, and they screwed everything up. I want to ask you, open your minds. They live, we sleep. But they not only live.
Is misunderstanding of they live on the bingo card? If so, there it is.
They're also killing our planet. They are doing it right now, while you're watching this. Wake up, humans. You must review all the instruction they gave you in elementary school, middle school, high school, history, geography, geology.
I like that she doesn't say college, because if you made it this far in the video, and ironically, you probably didn't go to college.
Open your mind.
Do you have a link? Sure.
I want you to look at these photos. Today we have lots of artifacts, which we can't repeat.
Dark Beast.
Because of...
Thanks for 21 months. Says, happy anniversary, Hannah. Oh wow, we need to get this woman hooked up with the guy who sees giant bodies and rock formations. Might make her sound less dull.
Certain conditions as the lack of technology, lack of equipment, or specialists, and which are evidence.
Look up at the sky and see.
Civilization is 200 years ago, and before that compared to us was way more developed. And today's society are just kids in the sandbox. Here are some examples. Bubbleovo Bath, 1784 to 1820. Here is what this man that was near it tells us. Sorry for my language, but they are telling us absolute bullshit. That somehow the master made it for 7 years and polished it every day like Papa Carlo. Absolute bullshit. With all my responsibility as a lathe man of 5th level, I declare that this is machine precision. Concave and convex surfaces of this bath, strictly precise, circle on the whole diameter, very accurate spherical surface in the lower part of the bath. Inside the bath on the bottom, the same super accurate concavity of the whole diameter.
Yeah, a person worked for fucking years on this thing. They were a craftsperson. Like, that's their whole fucking life. What are you talking about?
This product is impossible to do manually.
Okay, first of all, it was made from 1784 to 1820, not the goddamn, like, Neolithic era. They had some form of tools that they were using to do this. They just weren't electric. But even if they didn't, and they just hand polished it, which I doubt, but if they did, that's fine. People do impressive shit.
Especially to polish. I have the impression that it only yesterday got out of the machine. And the polish is like from Isaac's castle columns. It's impossible to do without high-class and high-speed polishing and grinding instruments.
For you?
Next one, Alexandrian column, 1834. Weight is 600 tons, 27 meters high, granite. Impossible to do manually without turning this on a lathe machine.
Why do you think that?
This column has the shape...
Alexandrian column. Let me see if there's anything on how it was made. Loading. Let's see. This is just about what it is. It doesn't tell me how they made it. I see why it was made. Don't know how it was made. Either way, I don't understand why people like this don't understand that people have been making really impressive shit for thousands of years without electric modern tools. Kinda seems obvious. Astrofox says, people literally hand grind and polish telescope mirrors as a hobby. You don't need electricity to polish stuff. If you can get a polish good enough for a scope, you can polish a stone to be nice looking.
Shape of antithesis. It's simply impossible to do manually.
Why do you think that?
Third, Peru Tambo. Polygonal docking of blocks. Weight is 42.
That's definitely very possible. Just takes time and patience.
120 tons. The level of adjustment you can see for yourself. Blocks are aligned in 3 dimensions.
Yeah?
Capella San Severo. Made from a single piece of marble. This is impossible to do without an advanced CNC machine.
Clearly it's not! They fucking did it!
For the last 50 years, there was nothing even...
Like, master marble sculptors are fucking nuts!
...close to the complexity of this execution. Nothing has been done by any sculptor, even with the advanced CNC machine. Marble tombstone on the monumental cemetery Strangolano Museum in Genoa. 6. Stone bridges in Sevastopol. Each polygonal stone of the bridge.
Again, why does this amount to, I don't understand how, like, masons and, like, craftsmen make things, therefore it must be magic. You just don't have that expertise. How hard is this to understand? Carney says, there's this new guy at work, and a couple weeks ago I heard him saying how Biden's not the president and the military is in charge. 2 days after that, he mentions adrenochrome, and just the other day, New World Order. Do I get anything for winning bingo in real life? Sad LOL. No, but stay away from that person. They're probably crazy. Maps and Mimic says, I'm an engineer. You can't do that shit with a CNC machine. What the fuck? Chitara says, obviously we know that those structures were built manually. I also have degrees in both the fine arts and art history, so now she's swinging on my home turf and it's melting my brain.
Is essentially a single sculpture, an example of modern work, with the stone on the left. By today's standards, it is considered quite acceptable. All cities on this planet were built of stone in the antique style.
What?
With
Hydrate.
pre-designed layouts of streets, avenues, embankments, and so on. All cities had a stone bastion wall. The construction volume, which is often equal to the construction volume of the whole city. Somewhere between 1780 and 1815, we experienced nuclear war. And it is likely...
Okay, so... Nuclear weapons weren't developed until World War II, which was in the 1930s and 40s. So no, that's not true.
Not the first time in the world, which resulted in a nuclear winter in 1816.
Isn't it weird that we have no record of that, and we have record of everything else that actually happened during that period and up till now? It's crazy. Huh.
A year without summer. The Anglo-Saxons called it 1800 and froze to death. Here are some screenshots from Google Earth. Photos of nuclear craters in
No, they're not!
the territories such as Belarus. Such craters are easy to find. White traces around craters are broken limestone, the basic material of that time. To visualize the damage, search in Google. Google Roger Fenton Crimea or James Robertson Crimea and see the pictures. And you will see the photos of these first war photographers that were sent to Crimea in 1853 after the nuclear war to take pictures.
Weird that no one mentioned the nuclear war.
Of the siege of Sevastopol. Compare vegetation then and today. This is an example of a photo of Sevastopol by Fenton. Until
Bittergrin says, we have plenty of historical works from that time period. None mention a nuclear war. The nuclear winter of 1816 was caused by a volcanic eruption. But don't you see? She says volcanoes aren't real, so it must have been a nuclear weapon for some reason.
Until the 18th century, houses were built entirely of limestone. For cutting were used advanced machines to make perfect parallelepipeds. Here are some photos of a house in Crimea. All houses in all cities of old USSR are covered in clay for 3 or 4 meters. All houses that are deep in the ground for 3 to 4 meters and have such good quality. It takes 200 years, and during the Soviet era, such masonry of limestone is considered to be very good. This is Eski Kermen. Illiterate guides will tell you that this is one of the cave cities of Crimea, where people lived. And when I asked about this track, I was told that this track was done by cartwheels of local nobility.
Regiology says you can go to Europe in the ancient quarries and see giant obelisks in various stages of being made before being abandoned due to mistakes or fractures, made before iron tools. You can pick up the rock hammers they used to pound them out pound out the rock. You can pick up the polishing stones they use to polish them. To polish stone, you just need sand and water, and a polishing stone slightly harder than the stone you're polishing. Stone technology is literally the oldest technology.
And this is another so-called cave city.
Wait, did this person say Egypt was in Europe? I'm sorry, I'm tired, and I'm missing
of
stuff.
Crimea. And this is a modern quarry where limestone is mined. This photo is made before the revolution of 1917. You can see that from the limestone is accurately cut segments, the bottom of which runs the railway and where a house stands. And now a very important photo
Oh wait, I said Europe? I meant Egypt. Sorry.
of Inkerman Quarry, the name Champani, made in 1890. You can clearly see cut passageways through the hill, 100 meters in width and 80 meters high. Under the vertical wall, we can see small pieces of limestone and limestone crumb that fell off because of working saw machining. In the cut holes, we can clearly see houses. Some of these holes are beginning of catacombs, some of which extend for hundreds of kilometers. They conducted a large-scale underground mining of limestone. In the days of the Second World War, in the catacombs were hospitals, warehouses, headquarters, and trucks freely drove in and out of these catacombs. By the way, there are ancient catacombs in any city of the world. Near Odessa, there is a catacomb that is 2,500 kilometers long. Everything they tell us, rocks, canyons, ravines, cliffs, are just nothing more than quarry wastes.
No, they're not.
And there are very old quarries over there, and many fresh ones. This is a white
It's Sassy says, let me guess, limestone is actually made from ancient lime trees.
rock in Belogorsk, near Crimea. It is a limestone quarry. The wall was formed as a result of the cut slope of the hill. Want to see more? Look at this passage from which a huge mass of limestone was taken. They lied to you. And guess what they call it? They call it the Valley, a beautiful wonder of earth. Check this out. This is an old photo from the 19th century. The mound of the vertical walls of limestone chips are not yet overgrown with vegetation. This is an old painting from the year 1855. We can see ancient giant quarry wastes in the background.
Oh
Are
my
you
god,
impressed by
no,
the scale of
fucking...
mining in just little Crimea? I want to tell you more.
The video's almost over, guys. We only have 10 minutes left. I know, I'm burnt the fuck out on this too. I'm sorry. I just need to finish it.
There is no cubic meter of land.
Dr. Gamble with a link. Thank you. Anything but this. There's 10 minutes!
Probably 100 meters deep over the entire Earth, which would not have been in its time mined, milled, masticated, and discarded. It is not a planet, but a giant quarry waste pit, where in the most violent and barbaric way the entire periodic table of Mendeleev is extracted. And now, look at these photos and pay attention to the tiered structure of the quarries and mines. The rotor excavated tiered cuts are massive. It is a formed structure with right angles when viewed from above. And now I want to show you the mountains, ridges, gorges,
I'm speeding it up.
Canyons, cliffs, in almost uninhabited ways. Often they are named by the people who discovered them. Are all academics and professors of geology and other science nerds too blind to see it?
Why is she calling them science nerds? It's so weird. They're all part of an evil conspiracy to lie to you, but they're also all nerds.
Mountain on the Kola Peninsula. I do not know the name. Mountains on Antarctica that were only discovered in 1820. Antarctica. Here are even the traces of the heavy machines and equipment.
Like, it's just weird to me, because on the one hand, presumably she's calling people who study any subject nerds because they read books and, like, learn things, but ostensibly she's spending time reading and studying, air quotes, this in order to come to her conclusions. So wouldn't that make her a fucking nerd? By her own logic?
Greenland. Watkins Mountains. Look at the scale of the mining. Greenland. The flight from Frankfurt to Los Angeles. Gunbjorn. The highest mountain in Greenland. 3,700 meters.
Astrofox says, I wonder if it's a Russian insult that doesn't translate well to English. Perhaps.
No problem. Almost completely gutted. Svalbard, Norway. Aurora Borealis in the background of quarry waste. Antarctica. Transantarctic mountains. At the foot, the traces of machines are still visible. Antarctica. Transantarctic mountains. Quarry systems. Pay attention to the background. Mount Kailash, Tibet. The height is 6,638 meters. Have you ever seen in our time heavy mining equipment that's raised to such heights? Goblin Valley State Park, Utah, USA. Bloss Mountain State Park, Oklahoma, USA. Grand Canyon, Arizona, USA. It's just a giant quarry, waste, gutted territory. Millions of tourists think that they are looking at a miracle of the world because they were told so. Quarry, Grand Canyon, Arizona, USA. Nowhere can we find traces of water erosion, only the shock explosive impacts on the silicon vegetation.
It's literally, you can see the fucking river!
Quarry, Rock Spitzberg. Quarry, Grand Canyon. The cut of the stone with a circular saw. Quarry in Australia, Blue Mountains. Blue Mountains from another angle.
6 minutes.
Blue Mountains, the vertical wall. Compare it with the marble quarry in the Alps. Marble mining in the Alps. Giant quarry, do not know where. This photo is offered as wallpaper on your desktop across the internet.
I don't even know where this one is, but look, it's a fucking... It's a canyon. Hydrate.
Caprock Canyons State Park, Texas. Again, a national park created from exhausted quarry waste in the USA. In some quarry waste where there is a lot of moisture, people do farming. Banao Rice Terraces. Again, Banao Rice Terraces. And this is Canyon to Chelly Nation Monument, USA. The saws apparently did tunneling. The so-called Painted Hills in Oregon. Mountains Ravine, South Africa. Orange River and Mountains. Timna National Park in Israel, just a quarry. Quarry, Green Canyon in China. Flooded quarry, Charak Reservoir in Uzbekistan. Flooded quarry, another angle. As you can see, there are no natural rocks, mountains, cliffs, and gorges on this planet.
Everything you listed was natural rocks!
How flat the Earth is. Like a pancake? Or maybe a little concave? Our masters are literally devouring our home and turning it into a desert and a scrapyard. Guess what? It appears there are quarries on our planet the size of several countries. For example, in Tajikistan, Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, and Iran, there is almost no soil in these parts of the country.
Carney says, the funny thing is if you actually look into it, Charlie's a lot more interesting than whatever this is. Charlie's. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry if this is evident. Can you tell this video has fucking burnt me out? Literally listening to this and like trying to parse things to say about it and how ridiculous this is. My brain wants to shut down. I know work no more.
Because a 100-meter layer of soil and all living things on it was removed. It looks like the Ural Sea and the Caspian Sea.
Brain empty. World flat.
Are just giant flooded quarries. Yes, all areas in the world that is painted yellow on Google Maps are the bottom of quarry wastes. Uzgurt Plateau. In the middle of the picture is a group of cars. If you fill this quarry with a layer of water 1,500 meters high, you will get an analogy of the Sea of Azov. And this is the Sea of Azov, flooded old quarry. The bottom is as smooth as a table on which rotor excavators rolled. The maximum depth is 15 meters.
She's just saying stuff. She's just saying words.
Perhaps thorium was mined here. The edge of the Karakum Desert, the area of which is 350,000 kilometers squared. The impression is that planetary reapers worked here. In
Planetary reapers? What the fuck is that?
reality, quarry for the rest of the population, Canyon Yangakala, the wonder of the world, in Turkmenistan. In reality, quarry for the population, Plateau Tozber, Kazakhstan. USA, Monument Valley, USA. Previously, this area was several hundred meters high, up to the stumps of the silicon trees in the
It's a fucking valley.
background. Same Monument Valley, USA. Namibia. The desert is the bottom of a quarry. Egypt. The top layer is scraped out with soil, and all living things on it, also burnt by nuclear blast. Most part of Australia is cut and scraped almost completely. No soil, only red desert left. Australia, Nigeria, desert. The conclusion is deserts are one.
Like, does she think that everything is supposed to be like a goddamn deciduous forest? Does she think the entire biome of the Earth is supposed to be one thing, like Star Wars? Like it's either a desert planet, or it's a salt planet, or it's a fucking ice planet, or it's a city planet. The Earth has different biomes. It's not Star Wars. It's Minecraft.
100% artificial. They emerged as a result of long-term mining activities. Even more.
Forest planet. That was more of a, that was a moon. That was the forest moon of Yavin? Yavin 4? No, the forest moon of Endor. Or Kashyyyk is also a forest planet. Endor.
More, you can easily safely replace the words canyons, gorges, rocks, ravines, plateaus, mountain lake, and just simple lake in your vocabulary to the words quarry, mine, flooded quarry, flooded mine. Krivabor
Or don't do that, and you'll be much more accurate.
in Russia. Krivabor in a different angle. In the middle of this
Kashyyyk is the Wookiee planet.
island, over.
It's where Chewbacca's from. And his kid, Lumpy. And his wife, Nala. And his father... Was it Itchy? What was his dad's name?
Overgrown with bushes.
Yes, Chewbacca has a son, and his name is Lumpy. His name is fucking Lumpy. He's Lumpy Baka.
Stood a rotary excavator. Van in Switzerland. Obviously the work of a rotary excavator. Siberia, Anabari Quarry.
See, okay, I don't normally get this fucking loopy unless it's like 3 in the morning and I'm really tired. This is how much this video has drained me. It's stolen 5 hours of energy from my day. Nick says not to be confused with Sussy Baka.
Now look at this. This is pile of waste rock in Donbass. The height sometimes reaches 300.
Carney says, you just impressed me with your Star Wars knowledge. Don't be impressed. It's a waste of brain space.
Meters.
Not only is it Star Wars canon, it's Star Wars canon that isn't even canon anymore because it was part of the fucking holiday special.
Inside them are chemical reactions.
Wait, did they ever canonize any of that in any of the extended universe stuff or legends? I believe in Lumpy Baka, okay?
Actions. They burn, and sometimes they even explode when they accumulate excess pressure. And more.
It's Mala, not Nala. Oh shit, Nala was the fucking lion from The Lion King that Simba bangs. Who's also his cousin. Simba has a kid with his cousin. Which is accurate. Lions do that. But that's weird.
Let me introduce to you this pile of waste called Vesuvius in Italy. 1,281
It's a volcano, bitch!
81 meters high.
Oh wait, is Nala his mom? Which one? What's the girl's name who grows up and then they do the "Can you feel the love tonight?" And then like she gives him fuck me eyes, but she's like an animated lion. I'm too tired for this stream. This is getting out of hand.
But science nerds will tell you that this is a
Sarah B was the mom? Okay, I'm not crazy.
volcano. Because it is burning. Even once it exploded. What a story. How people buy in.
No one else can hear your sass, Baha! God damn it. I love you. Yeah. Yeah. What? Oh, that's good. I said, oh, that's good. I already said I love you. I said it first. I love you. After this video, they get to not deal with me. You have to deal with me being tired for the rest of the night.
Into it is beyond me. And now...
They're not related? Bullshit! Where were the other male lions on Pride Rock, guys? Who do you think was Nala's dad? It was Mufasa. He was clapping every lion cheek on Pride Rock. I borderline think he was clapping Scar, okay? I'm just saying, he was clapping those lion cheeks. God damn it.
Let's look at the biggest pile of waste.
What? That would make them half siblings. Yes, that's how lions work. I think it's implied. Oh, they'd be they're half siblings. Sorry. That's better. Maps and Mimics, thanks for 13 months. Says, I love and hate you for slogging us through this mind-numbing clusterfuck. Hey, Step Bro Lion, what are you doing? Oh no, I got caught in the dishwasher. Let's finish this fucking video so I can end this stupid stream. What? Half siblings, whatever!
It's called terracons or volcanoes. This is Terracon in Fujiyama in Japan. People, if you think that our masters lie to you, you are still sleeping.
Carney says it's okay, I get loopy when I'm tired too. That's probably anti-Semitism.
If you think that the earth is flat, you are half awakened.
Flat earth on the bingo card.
We are on a desert and a giant quarry that we are turning into a scrapyard. Since we can trust no one, maybe it's time we think for ourselves. Really think about what you've been told your whole life, and question everything.
Yeah, that's thinly veiled anti-Semitism. I wish I was sleeping. Oh, thank God. It's over. We did it. We fucking did it. What? Oh God, I'm so tired. Cruelty with a link.
Well, now I've seen everything.
G-Tara says, these are some of my last bits, Hannah. My brain is mush now, but at least we got to enjoy an argument over what level of incest Mufasa's pride partakes in. Brachiology says, who would have thought a person could make a video about trees and mountains so racist? Not me. Life sure is a ride, isn't it? Princess Amelia says we're free. Auntie Pretzel says, I think we all need some beer and a hot bath, also a nap. Okay. Let's... Where's... What's his face? Where is he? He's in here somewhere. Samir... What have you done? Gimpvet says, so when I come visit, does that mean we're all playing Lion Cousins? What the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah, I know. What's a short one? What's the absolute shortest one we could do? There's not a no part of Oven Girl. This one's only 5 minutes. This does appear to perhaps have, the title is this, so warning. The title is Guy Takes Advantage of Drunk Girl, Unexpected Ending. So warning for that particular content. I have no expectations, so I agree.
Oh my god, I feel so drunk right now.
Me too. Dang, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. I can barely walk straight.
Hey, don't worry. I got you. I got you.
Oh, Kevin, you're such a sweet guy.
Well, you'll think I'm even more sweet when I show you this.
What is it?
It's my own little special extra for tonight.
What? I don't think I can handle anymore.
Come on. You seem so chill in all of your TikTok videos. You're really gonna give up so easy?
What does that smell?
It's my own special concoction. Don't knock it till you try it.
It's a mix of 2 parts chloroform, 1 part ether.
It's just, I've been told
Why did your laptop start smelling like Drakkar Noir?
to have drink.
Hydrate.
Well, are you gonna do everything that everyone else tells you to do? Come on.
Just one sip. That's all. It's disgusting. Well, I think I'm gonna feel sick.
You don't look sick. You look really, really good to me.
Oh, what the fuck, Samir? Pardon the confetti says, oh no, it's the last video in liquefied form.
Hey, I got you.
Kevin, I don't feel so good. I think we should call him Cap.
Well, why don't we just go to my car and wait it out till you feel better?
I don't think I will make it.
It's the only car on the lot. It'll be just you and I. We'll be alone. Let me just get my jacket and then we can get an Uber, okay?
Okay. Did you call an Uber?
Really? After you dressing like this and turning me on.
What?
Just gonna leave? It's not really fair.
Kevin, I don't feel so good.
Why don't you get in the back and I can make you feel good?
No, I don't want to. I just met you.
This isn't even funny, Samir. This is just fucked up.
I know you want to.
No.
Just one kiss and then we'll stop.
No.
I'm just skipping. What happens?
What is this photo doing in your purse?
It's just a reminder that I shouldn't drink that much.
What? Why?
Just my doctor, he tells me because I have only one
Only one kidney, I shouldn't drink that much.
One kidney, what?
Yes. Yeah, it's just that girl, I donated my kidney to her in school 2 years ago. And I'm so drunk right now, I'm just blabbering.
You gave
Sidosaurus says, "What the fuck is this?" in vegan teacher
her
voice.
your kidney?
Is it like his mom or sister or something?
Kevin, I don't think I will make it.
He's decided not to date rape because she donated a kidney.
Amy.
But he'll date rape anyone who hasn't donated a kidney to someone he knows personally.
Amy, that's my sister. Amy. No, Amy, no.
See ya, Ash Boo. Have a good night.
Stop, no. I can't believe I let this happen. Amy, no, please. I'm so sorry, Amy. Please
You're not
get
just
up.
letting it happen. You did it, you fucking shitbag.
Get up, no. Amy, this was my sister that you saved. You helped her. You gave her your kidney. She had an anonymous donor. It was you. Amy, please get up. Amy, you'll be concussed if you stay here. Please. I promise I will never do this to a woman again. Please.
Men, very much still on the table. No women, though.
Please, come on. I should have taken care of you when you trusted me. Come on, I'm gonna take you to the hospital. Come on. Come on. Amy.
What's the address of the emergency?
Kevin rushed Amy to the hospital and saved her life. Kevin learned a lesson and stopped himself from going down a terrible path.
He already went down the path. He was mid assault. What do you mean?
He worked on himself to be a kinder and better man. He regrets what he was about to do every day and spent the next few years helping those in need. Never take advantage of someone that trusts you. I hope you're enjoying these videos and messages.
What the fuck? Okay, who we rating? So... Who raid? How about Cirrus? Okay, have a good night, everyone. I'll be back tomorrow for something less insufferable than what we watched earlier. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night. Bye.